Rebuild of the favorites. We here for the latest. South side or the north side. Not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball. But we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or guarantee, so the whole league that we here now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Straight rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's going on, everybody? This is the live version of Pinwheels and Ivy. Although we all retweeted and twitched, and we're on Twitch now, by the way. Once I figure out what that is, right after Thruple, I will let everybody know. All right, we'll just give people a minute to file in.
Come on, people, file in.
They're filing. They're filing.
Get right into the circus.
They're filing.
File in, sidle in, whatever you need to do.
Damn, big time on Twitch. See, we already got a Twitch follower. I mean, a jumper. I kind of counted on that, but
I follow too. So they jump in and they're like, "Oh, no tits," and then they get right out, or what?
Oh no, that's the fans only account. That's a different one. That's after the show when Zoe does. It's Pinwheels and Ivy After Dark.
Nice. We can cuss on this, right?
No.
Everyone but you.
Yeah.
That's
now. That's actually that's the person that asks if they can cuss can no longer cuss, and everybody's allowed to fucking cuss except for you.
And
about what the freaking time, Josh Nelson.
Well, I thought this was for a moment the 108 podcast, My Sox Summer. So I felt like I had 8 minutes past the time that you guys were originally going to stream.
Son of a bitch.
It's funny you say that because I think this is the first time we've ever been on time.
Literally.
We have the most people on.
I was trying to be prompt about this one. So, all right.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Here we go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, October 7th. Yes, we are in October. Finally, October baseball. You have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast, and boy, do we have a full house for you today. This is going to be our ALDS preview show. We're going to get right into intros, but we're going to just plain and simple. We're covering everything this series. All questions on the table. If you're watching us live on Wednesday night, make sure you get involved in the comment section. We can now be found on Twitch as well. I'm already seeing a bunch of weird ass emoji things that I'm guessing only come from Twitch in the comments. So that's cool. But as always, I'm your host, Matt Zawoski, aka Southside Zoe. Some call me Father Zoe. Thanks to you, Beef. And with me, as always, is the good Reverend K Fids.
Hey, to be honest with you, this is my favorite Twitch since Jake Cutler. So this is fantastic. This Twitch is happening. I'm pumped that we're with the cool kids now. We're the money. We've got the Twitch account now, so we're gonna get a couple 12-year-old, 13-year-old fan audience. We're gonna build up that K-pop audience as well. So I'm really pumped, really.
Yeah, I did the K-pop GIF for the show, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, Mr. Aldo Soto. What's going on, Aldo?
I want to welcome all the Sox fans who are listening to obviously Zoe and 2 Cubs fans who are going to be talking about the Sox. So that's going to be nice and fun. Rub it in our faces.
And now I'm going to go round robin here. So he is a dumb ball crushing, merch pushing, handsome son of a bitch coming to us from the 108. You all know him and love him as Mr. My Sox Summer. How are you doing tonight, MSS?
Guys, thank you very much for inviting us on there. Zoe, I'm proud that you swallowed your pride. Even though we didn't allow you to come on our podcast, you brought me onto your podcast. Now, I understand that we had to give up Teresi and we killed him so we could be on this podcast, and that's why he's not here. And it's our new best friend, Josh, down there below is taking his spot. We'll talk to him later. But yeah, dude, this is awesome. I appreciate you guys bringing us on, and it is going to be a time tonight, fellas.
Yes. Well, I will say, go ahead, Fids.
I was going to say, I actually read this in a periodical of note that the 3 108ers cannot occupy the same stream space at the same time unless it's actually on their YouTube page. So that actually probably explains it. We don't want Teresi to turn into a pillar of salt, which is what happens. I saw that.
Well, I mean, hold on. We're in the trust tree. We tell our listeners the honest truth. we just couldn't afford Treasy.
It's true.
I mean, we only had enough money for 2 out of the 3 108ers. Dan Clark started this whole shit with people charging people to come on podcasts. Thanks again, Dan Clark. And so we just had to funnel our money together, and Treasy out of the 3, it just cost the most.
And this podcast was brought to you by Cameo, which is $10.08 to get them on each per. So it's fantastic.
And that man you see in the middle, he is a man of questionable character. He's a Jack Daniels slugging, and he puts up with Fids every Sunday night on the Golden Taint. That is the Mr. Aloha, Mr. Han. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Well, first off,
Tainted gloves, though.
Yeah,
Tainted
tainted glove, first of all.
Tainted glow. What
The
I say?
Golden
Tainted
Taint.
taint?
The Golden Taint was you.
Taint glove,
Copyright.
close enough. But I want to know when I'm getting my paycheck for this, since you're talking about, people are being paid to do these now. Boy, I missed out on that one. Was it
This weekend here in Vegas, I got the chip for you.
Yep. Fitz takes care of all that.
Got the bag.
Then
Down
next
envelope.
to him, thank God he didn't wear sleeves because I would have been disappointed. My favorite mullet wearing, 80s sunglasses rocking. 3-time Sox Met champion? You definitely cheated. Hot tub video making. Everybody knows him, loves him. One of the favorite uncles on White Sox Twitter. That's Mr. Beefloaf, Mr. Delicious. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Father Zoe, K. Fids, Aldo, thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, I had to come in full costume, man. I'm like a member of KISS. I got to put my makeup on and all my get up and stuff. If we're going to perform tonight, I got to perform. And I got to tell you, my Sox Summer Night is coming off of doing what we thought was 45 minutes, ended up being 2.5 hours worth of another podcast. And so don't worry, we got enough energy to conjure you guys up. If you guys want to go 3 hours, we're down for it. Even though we got to operate tomorrow 6 o'clock in the morning for our own little show.
I'll stretch out. We might be able to get that down. And last but certainly not least, a man who I consider almost the godfather or commissioner of White Sox Twitter, the man that does the Twitter spaces, who's good at keeping the animals in line when doing said Twitter spaces. I'm going to try my best to do my best impersonation of him from Sox Machine, Mr. Josh Nelson.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It is an honor to be beside the Macho Man Randy Savage impersonator from Tinley Park. Beefloaf has joined us. Macho Man had the flying elbow. Beefloaf's got the flying belly. He just lands on you from the top turnbuckle. And I'm so happy that he joined us in character. It's going to be a fantastic show.
He's really he's really just the macho Kamala, the Ugandan giant, is really what you're trying to say.
Oh,
Josh, I'm proud of you that you didn't go with the nose joke. I'm impressed. It was right there for you. We could have done a nose smash thing, and you didn't go for it. I have respect, brother. Respect.
Well, listen, in your mid-20s, it was the atomic ass. But as you got older and just grinded away, the atomic ass didn't have as much power. So the belly buster.
If you're watching this on Wednesday night, get into that comment section. It's already cooking. We already have our first Brady Bunch and our first Hollywood Squares jokes. Keep those coming. I love them. Again, thank you to all these guys for coming in. And before we start the show, a little bit of business. As always, this show is sponsored by us. If you'd like to be in that slot, please let us know. But for right now, it's sponsored by us. We have a link at the top of our Twitter account at PinwheelsIvyPod. You can support the show. We're already going to be putting some of those funds back into the show because some of you have been insanely generous already. And we also have a link to our merch. Get in there, look good, get the fit. It could be laundry day clothes, or when you're not wearing your 108 shirt or have your Sox Machine koozie, you can squeeze some Pinwheels gear in there. So, gentlemen, and I use the term loosely, we are finally here. It's the ALDS, all the shows that we've all done, all the blogs that we've all written, all the Twitter spaces have done have all led to this. It's a full grind season, 162 games, none of this 60-game bullshit. And here we are, White Sox Astros, starting off on Thursday. Shout out to the White Sox for giving us some nice, fresh content right before the show by doing their press conference. And I guess we'll start there, and I'm going to start with you, Josh, because I saw your initial tweet on this, and I think it's a good jump-off point. Lance Lynn was named the Game 1 starter. Also, some of the questions that led down further during the press conference led to quite a couple different possibilities with regards to the rotation for this series. I saw your thoughts on it, and I think we'll start there, and we'll start with you, Josh. What do you think about the news of Lance Lynn being number one? What does that tell you where Tony's head's at?
Well, James Vegan of The Athletic put together a terrific post interviewing past coaches that have worked with Tony La Russa preparing for the postseason. And many of the quotes were on how when La Russa knew his team was going to go to the postseason, he would start preparing weeks in advance, using the final couple weeks of the regular season as an opportunity to just tinker a little bit so he had a better familiarity on what he would go with for a postseason lineup or a postseason rotation. When Lance Lynn went up to the mic and was asked, when did you know that you were to be starting game one? He said last week. Now, he said it with a smile, so maybe he found out yesterday or that morning. But I can't put it past Lance Lynn to be speaking the truth, and he's always known, at least for a week, that he's going to be starting game one, and all of us fools that have been debating back and forth are talking about a nothing, really, because it was already decided. And going Lance Lynn game one, I think everybody was thinking, okay, he's the one that gets two starts. He gets game one and he gets game five if there is a game five. But when a reporter asked Tony La Russa his philosophy on using pitchers on short rest, La Russa was pretty clear that he's not scared of short rest. And it's all about telling pitchers you have to pitch with what you have, not what you don't have. Don't overexert yourself trying to throw at 100% if you're not at 100%. I'm having you start on short rest because I believe in your stuff. Just go do what you do and play within your parameters of what you have with only 3 days to prepare. And what this sets up for the White Sox is that if there is a game four, who are they going to go with? Carlos Rodon, which we believe should be rested, or Lance Lynn on short rest? And based on what La Russa was talking about today at his press conference and how comfortable he is using a pitcher on short rest, that's the debate. If Carlos Rodon doesn't look strong enough, or Tony La Russa, if his gut tells him that Lance Lynn is the better option for game four, we may see Lance Lynn in game four. And Lynn said that he will be ready if he's needed in game four for the White Sox in this series. So that's going to be something to really be paying attention to. Obviously, they got to handle game one business, but maybe a little foreshadowing by the White Sox on how they're going to handle their pitching matchups for this series was shared today in their press conference.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we all kind of saw it towards the end of the season. I especially thought and this could just be the alcohol or weed, but I definitely thought Rodon was not throwing 100% in his last start. It didn't look like he was really trying to ramp it up. And that's interesting, though, about Tony La Russa and the way he manages players, because as Fids likes to bring up a lot, and Fids, what's your thought on it? But having a guy like Tony La Russa who's been here before and player usage coming down the stretch. Now, Fids, I know you pay attention to it as well. Is that something that you've been noticing with the way the pitchers have been used at the end there?
Yeah, I think that I mean, at the end of the season, you're dealing with dead arm regardless with everybody, and they're trying to pitch through it. And I think some guys pitch through it, and some guys get stuck lagging, and sometimes they get you want to call it a long hauler. They're long hauling a dead arm, and they can't really throw out of it. And I think what they were finding with Rodon probably was troublesome and problematic to them. And seeing that he's not throwing out of it, because after a couple starts and a couple side pens and a couple flat grounds, you should be able to throw out of it and get back to work. And you've seen it with some other guys too that kind of. You might see their velo dip sometime in August, but then the velocity starts coming back up in September as they push down the stretch. But his just hasn't. And I don't know if it's because he himself has decided that he's not going to, some guys do say, I'm going to take a little off. I'm just going to go pitch. I'm going to make less effort. And people are more concerned with that. Or he's throwing, and in the bullpen, they're seeing stuff that they don't like to see. Not mechanically, obviously, but maybe his face, facial expressions after he throws a curveball. Maybe they see something that he doesn't even notice he's doing, that he's giving it away, and they're not comfortable with it. But I wouldn't be shocked if I'm more shocked that if he can go for, I don't know why they're not throwing him for, and then piggybacking with Kopech at some point. But it's not like they have. It sounds terrible to say this. It's not like he's an investment. He's not on a long-term contract. He's on 3. Oh wait, Rodon?
No. I thought. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Rodon.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the velocity drop that was concerning with Rodon.
Yeah.
Lynn's going to do what Lynn does, but I'm still concerned. I mean, I personally had him starting game 3, and I had Gio going game 1, but they see something. I was really leery of the numbers in Houston over the course of his career, but it's the postseason, so maybe it flips it on its side. But being as bad as he has been in Houston, it's an interesting call from that perspective. But
that's off of that point. And gentlemen, please, as people are talking, feel free to fucking jump in. This feels stiff already. Let's fucking go ahead.
Yeah, I do have the numbers since 2019 of Lynn in Houston: 0-5, a 6.88 ERA, a 281 average against, and a 1.39 WHIP. Not good. Not good.
Michael Brantley alone's got a slash line of 409, 435, and 636 against Lance Lynn.
And that's going to be the key matchup for game 1 is how does Lance Lynn navigate Michael Brantley? And is Tony La Russa going to allow Lynn to face Michael Brantley a third time? Which then puts into question just how long Lance Lynn's going to start game 1. Because if La Russa doesn't want Lynn to deal with Michael Brantley a third time to the order, Lynn may just get through 4 or 5 innings. And then he's going to be yanked.
Mm-hmm. Here's a big danger too, and this is something that fans might not be super aware of, which is what makes. I mean, it's going to when we get to the bullpen, I guess it'll be making it more concerning. Getting to your bullpen too early against the Houston Astros, especially early in the series. The Houston Astros have the best offense in the 8th inning of any team in Major League Baseball. They've hit 29 home runs in the 8th inning. They've got like a 449 slash line, I think it is, or for a slugging, 445 slugging. In the 8th inning alone. So, if you're going to burn your bullpen, you're going to be dealing with some trouble in the 8th and 9th inning every game out if you can't get some of these starters deep. You need a guy to go 4, 5, 6. You need to really hit 6 or 7 in that first game because this team, the Astros, are more dangerous in the latter half of a baseball game than they are the front half. So you need Lynn to go 5 or 6. But I'm looking at that going, God, if you tax your bullpen in game 1 and Lynn doesn't have it, you're looking at 4 more games potentially of mixing and matching and pairing things up, and guys are going to have to play on fumes, and that's tough at least.
Yeah, but that's what modern playoff baseball looks like. I actually just took a look back at the 18 and 19 teams that went to the ALCS, and they often didn't go with their starters long. I mean, the only guys that were really tracking 6 innings plus on average, going for a couple series, so across ALDS and ALCS, were in 19 when Houston had Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. For the most part, everyone gets nipped short at least one time in a series like that. So I think I don't know if it's a good idea to put up a guy for the 3rd time through the order. I hope that Tony is aware of these types of things and that he is prescient with trying to make a decision quickly. You mentioned the Astros in the 8th inning, but the Astros are the best, or maybe the Blue Jays just passed them right at the end of the season. They're the best offense in baseball, though. So they're good all the innings, and they have 2 dead spots in their lineup. They choose to play a glove in center and a glove behind home plate, assuming they're not going to use Jason Castro. I don't know if they'll use Jason Castro, but when they have Martin Maldonado behind the plate, they'll take 2 zeros in those spots. So you might be able to hide sneaking through that second time and getting through easily. But I'm not sure if going deep is going to be in the game plan. It might be nipping it in the bud, and maybe that's part of the reason why he brought up bringing the starter back. In game 4, game 1 starter in game 4, we were all in the car. I was in the car with my Sock Summer and Treasy, and it really opened our eyes. But the more I think about it, it could just be an optionality play too. It could just be Tony saying, "Hey, Astros, fuck you. You don't know what we're going to do in games 3 and 4." And I like that. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing. Don't tell them nothing. Let them assume you could do absolutely anything because you're a crazy old guy. That's fine. Good play by Tony.
And there's no love lost between Tony and Dusty. Let's make that very clear.
They fucking hate each
other. And let's be honest, there may be nothing better for the White Sox than to get behind a Dusty Baker team by two games in a series, because it's like you got Dusty right where you want him when he's got a big lead in the series. That's Dusty's thing. He's gonna go ahead and give it away.
Damn.
Now,
still thinking about it.
He's gonna twice in the World Series. That's a pattern.
It's 18 years ago. Let it go.
Oh.
We live in the past. It's baseball. You all live in the past. But obviously,
Let it go.
by going with Lance the first game, some people are already chatting about that. The reason they went with Lance in the first game is because of how he matches up against this Houston Astros team, with Astros throwing out their ace in game one, who, for all intents and purposes, if you look at those numbers on the flip side, he kind of owns the White Sox. So, it's weird. I don't like to say that they're trying to play the matchups a little bit more, but putting a Lucas Giolito, who could arguably be your stronger second half pitcher in the game two, gives you a little bit more of a chance of stealing one in Houston. I mean, do you buy into that at all, My Sox Summer?
So what we discussed in the car, and I'll give Teresi and Loaf a lot of credit for this, because they usually have the good baseball ideas, and then I steal them and act like they're mine.
I love
And
it.
so when we're in the car, we're talking about it after, we've done our thing. We're like, hey, maybe the Sox are like, listen, we're not going to beat Lance McCullers. So let's throw in a Lucas and go for game two. Let's put all of it in for game two and play to win that game, because that could be the better match. So I don't know, who knows? I feel, I think that could be right. It's like, hey, Lance might beat us, but like, let's be real. Lance, I know the numbers are horrible, and Mr. Hand, you're a dick for bringing that shit up, but because that just reiterates the whole thing. But them being like, if we get beat there, Lance, god damn it. See, now, so I'm in your world now, and now I'm getting this cluster fucked as you. No, it's
fucker.
So Lance is a good pitcher. Lucas is a good pitcher. So throw him out there, and there's a 50-50 chance that he's going to go. Either one of them are going to go down against the other Lance, but maybe a little bit better if we do this next way. So yeah, I know how convoluted that is. Josh Nelson's eyes have rolled into the back of his head by now, but yes, it is. I feel like they're putting their chips in on game two. They're not really trying to win game one as hard.
In all fairness, there's way too many fucking Lances. I would get confused too. So don't worry about it. I'm glad you did it this week instead of me, but I would definitely mix up the Lances. What's up, Fitz?
Timeout. If you bet Mookie Betts over 1.5 on total bases, congratulations. You have more money in your bank account.
I need a home run.
That's me.
So
one thing I'll say about this, the Sox went into Houston in June and got their lunch handed to them, basically. And the Rodon start was the only competitive game out of the four. But if you really look at the lineups the White Sox were loading out there,
yeah,
you had no Robert, you had no Eloy in there. You got guys like Lamb, Goodwin in the lineup there.
Yerman.
So that's sort of the end of Yerman there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really looking at a different team going in there now compared to what they faced in June and July, for that matter.
No, definitely. I mean, and that's without a doubt. That's definitely. We've been saying that on the show as a constant. Like, people are bringing up old matchups with the White Sox. This wasn't the full White Sox team for more than half the season, so I'm not. I think that's just silly. But the other thing that I'm curious what you guys think about is these two pitchers for game one and game two of Houston are notorious ground ball pitchers. Like, some of the, arguably, I think they're like top 10 easily. I'll go to you, Aldo. Yeah, I'm going to make you talk. Is that, as someone from the outside, though, looking in, as a team that has hit a fuck ton of ground balls this year, almost ad nauseum, where it's just annoying as shit, what do you think the White Sox, you can't go out there and be like, hey, just don't hit ground balls. Is that something that, do you think they're going to be moving runners a little bit more, or what's your play on that?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It was like Houston's good at ground balls, and then the White Sox weren't they most of the season like up there in ground ball percentage?
Yes.
Yeah, they finished second in the AL in ground ball percentage, right behind the Rangers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have a question here is like, what's the approach, game one against McCullers, would you go, do you want to ambush him right away, jump on that first pitch, which most of the time is going to be a strike? Do you be patient, try to work counts? Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I mean, at this point, the thing is about running, though. I don't like running, especially in the playoffs, because what's the cliche, the Joe Sheehan, what ball go far? Team
ball
go
far,
so,
team go far.
Yeah. So you don't. I don't want strike him out, throw him out, double play. Like, damn, for what reason you just had like a runner on first, and you got nothing, on a Luis Robert swing and a miss or something.
Right.
I think you just have to wait it out. I think this year's is going to be, when we talked about it with Jordan a couple of weeks ago, I think it's going to be a slugfest. So I don't like, possibly getting guys thrown out trying to steal bases. You guys obviously know a lot better than I do how the Sox played this year, but
they don't steal bases.
But like they have to hit home runs. Obviously, that's how basically every team wins in the playoffs. You hit home runs. So I don't think you mess around with the cutesy. Let's do these hit and runs, and it's like, and I know it sucks, to wait around for the 3-run home run, but love it or hate it, that's how teams win.
Kind of feel like the lineup's built for it too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the way the Sox. Again, most teams are going to have to win. Your sluggers are going to have to show up and slug. You are going to have to outslug Houston. If you get past them, you're playing Boston, or if you're playing the Rays, you have to outslug them. It's not going to be these. And the interesting part with pitching, I wanted to go back to that very quickly because we're talking about like the starters, how far they're going to go, and Beeflo, you made a great point. Where like you go back to, I think you can go back to like 2016 and 2015 maybe. The postseason, it's no longer. It's like, okay, can you have a starter go 7-8 innings? It's like, no. Who has the best bullpens? Who has the guys who can go multiple innings? Who can you bring in the fifth in a tight jam? He gets out of it, and then he goes another inning or two, and then you still have your lockdown guy at the end.
Right.
And I think the Sox are like built perfectly for that. Because not only do you have, obviously you have Liam Hendricks, you have Craig Kimbrell, then you have like Aaron Bummer, who finished the season off a lot better than, he was pretty shaky for most of the year, and then you have the injury in the summer. But like I think again, referencing Joe Sheehan again, he brought him up, like Aaron Bummer, probably the X factor. Because that's the guy. That's like your third, like lockdown.
You're jumping
reliever.
segments. You're jumping segments. Slow your roll, Aldo.
That's right.
And by the way, the over/under on the show for the Cubs guys to bring up 2016 was 20 minutes. So if you had the over,
wait, was this both guys or just one guy? That's
just one guy. If you had the over, congratulations, it hit. I had it at 20 minutes.
I didn't make. I was referencing the playoffs.
I know.
Well, hey, let's get these out of the way. Let's get these little bets out of the way. Chris Bryant. I said it. Okay, I said it.
Okay, he said Chris.
Now we're done.
There you go. Under 30 minutes.
Prop bet on
27.
Dusty in 2003.
Yeah, there you go.
Pete, I saw you giving me the ear tug, so I know you must have taken the under. So we had 2 minutes this year. I had to just say the name. So,
and then
also highest ticket prices. Boom! I just scored somebody else some money. Bam!
Someone just hit the Fitz trifecta in like 30 seconds. So congratulations to anybody that bet that.
Points bet.
The question
or from the 108.
And now we've all talked over each other. So there you go. All 4 points have hit that you guys like to bet on for the show. But the other big news of the day for the White Sox, we weren't going to bring it up, but it's now been made official, team official. There was a ton of rumors going around throughout the day. I'm sure everybody on this call, including a lot of you listening, got DMs from your cousins, brothers, sisters, uncle that saw somebody at the airport holding a puke bag or something going on that Jose Abreu was sick.
It was not Rick Ankiel. Not Rick Ankiel.
Right. Yeah, one of those bullshit. I was like Beef Loaf waiting for a cheesy beef or a Portillo's French fry to tell me what the fuck was going on. But
trustworthy beef.
Yes, the trustworthy, sandwiches that break White Sox news.
Wait, if it was
a Popeye McNugget,
Carrie's booty hole, it would be legit.
I've told you that story, right? I played 16 years softball with Katy Perry booty hole.
I mean, just to say that like in a sentence again, just.
I'll work it in later. But
I just want to hear you say that you played softball with their booty hole.
If you, for some reason, haven't heard this news, Jose Abreu had a fever. Obviously, in this day and age, you got to do 17 different tests now when someone's got a fever or a cough or anything to make sure it's not COVID, especially when you're talking about a team sport like baseball, because that could have been. Oof. But they did a bunch of tests. No COVID. Very good. Fever broke. Pito is on his way to Houston, probably as we speak, or he's probably already there. He didn't travel with the team for safety purposes, but we're going to go all the way back down. I'm going off of the squares here, just so you guys know. It's back down, Josh. I mean, are you nervous about Jose Abreu? I know we talked about it a little bit on the Twitter Spaces, but it's not really a flip a switch thing when your body's coming back from a fever.
This is Jose Abreu. I'm expecting Jose Abreu to be in the lineup tomorrow. The dude just doesn't want to take a day off. And if he can wake up and breathe without any problems, I'm expecting Jose Abreu to be in the lineup. And Tony La Russa said it as much as himself. He was asked, Abreu could be stubborn about taking days off. And La Russa chuckled during the press conference as an acknowledgement. And yeah, La Russa knows that Abreu is going to demand to be in the lineup tomorrow, and I'm expecting La Russa to have Abreu in the lineup tomorrow. The thing about Abreu, and maybe it explains why he kind of didn't have the best final week of the regular season. To me, his bat seemed slow in the last week, and we didn't see anywhere near the power numbers in the month of September that we saw in the month of August from Jose Abreu. So hopefully he's recovered enough, and he's recovered enough of his bat speed and his power, because it'd be nice if the White Sox had the 2020 version of Jose Abreu against these Houston Astros, because it would go a long way in helping the White Sox win this series.
Chicago fans, by the way, are no stranger to postseason fevers. Yep. When you have something in the postseason.
Yeah, and big shout out to Bennett, because that's your boy on Sox Machine. Bennett had the flu game Photoshop picture of Abreu on Tim Anderson within like 3 seconds of that news being announced. It was one of the quickest Photoshops that was actually hats off to him on that one. But I'll just blanket this one. Anybody worry about Jose Abreu?
Hold on.
Okay.
Last time we were worried about Jose Abreu, he was up till 3 a.m., worrying about his wife and his kid who were involved in a hurricane. And that fucking fucker came out and was like one hit shy of hitting the cycle. So, why are we worried? I don't see why we should be worried about him. He's going to come out and just kill it. He's going to kill it. He's Jose Abreu. And I think a little less powerful Jose Abreu is going to make him even more powerful. Like that, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense, but he's going to assume in his head, I've had this disease and I kicked this disease's ass, but I'm a little bit weakened, but I'm going to try twice as hard to fucking go out there and kill.
He doesn't have Ebola. I've got this disease.
It's a disease, Fitz. You know what? You know what? The thing is Jose Abreu is so much of a Superman, he might have just fucked COVID up inside his body. He didn't need any horse tranquilizers or whatever the fuck these weirdos are taking now. He just came out. He's like, listen, I have the antibodies in me. Jose Abreu is the antibody.
See, I think we
Josh
officially
Nelson
need
is
to have
immediately regretting coming on this with me.
we need to have My Sox Summer on the show once a month, because one, speak your language. I completely understand everything you just said, and two, your rambling and my rambling can cancel each other out, and it'll be like an ethos of rambling, and it'll be fantastic.
We could just start our own podcast called the Ramblin' Zoes.
It'll be 2 days. It's a
My
2 day long podcast.
My
Freezing MSS.
It'll be a 2 day long podcast covering 3 topics.
And it would include a couple of times where they just pass out and it's just dead air and you can't actually see anybody on the camera because they're laying down. Then they pop right back up like 4 hours later, like the fucking Jack in the Box.
Now I got a question. Is Abreu DHing tomorrow, or is he at first base?
Very fair question.
I'm going to assume he's at first base.
Yeah.
And the White Sox use...
Well, because they're still dealing with the lefty righty, the DH with the lefty righty stuff with Vaughn and Sheets, right?
I'm expecting Sheets to be in the lineup as the DH, and I'm expecting Abreu to be at first base. If not, you can interchange Sheets and Abreu. That's the beauty of the Chicago White Sox. They've got 6 first basemen on the roster. So you're not worried defensively at first base. But again, going back to the stubbornness of Jose Abreu, I'm expecting Abreu to be at first base tomorrow.
Gamer's going to game.
Yeah.
Period.
That's fair. I mean, the guy, if anybody on this team has earned the right to be like, I'm good, I'm going, it's Jose Abreu. He's been on some dog shit White Sox teams.
The Tigers just try to poison his pizza. It's fine. He's fine. That's bad.
Get a B12 shot in the morning. You'll be good. You're fine.
That was Nico Goodrum's revenge. He's like, I'm going to lace your pizza.
Nico Goodrum's revenge. All right. So now we'll actually go off of the questions we actually did have an agenda for the show, so fuck a lot of you. But we'll go around here. Yeah, you printed it out? Extra points for you, MSL. Look at you, superstar.
So, I like to write down and make notes while other people are talking. So, like right now, I was like, Mr. Hand likes milk. Beef loaf doesn't
Like
have
soda.
Josh Nelson looks annoyed.
Miss Lippy's car is green.
So we'll start off with you on this beef loaf, and then we'll go round robin. Same question to everybody. Feel free to jump in. Just let's give your answers and kind of move it going. But there's always the X factors. There's always that guy, that seems to come out of nowhere but plays a pivotal role. We saw it with the Rays last year. It happens every year. So it could be a pitcher, it could be a hitter, it could be Tony La Russa's Uber driver. Yeah, I know that was a cheap one. But Beef, who do you got as your X factor for a deeper playoff run?
I don't know that this guy necessarily comes out of nowhere, but maybe he does for the way playoff baseball's played and the way his 2021 season went. But I think Yoan Moncada is your X factor for this playoffs. I think Yoan Moncada, he has a huge amount of talent. We all know that. We watch him. All of us are watching him every day. Well, not the Cubs guys, but the rest of us are watching him every day. And what we saw this year was kind of this steady, okay performance. It was on base. It was good base running. It was great defense. No power. Didn't see the power all year. I feel like with the big lights on and all the attention on the White Sox that he's going to put in the next gear. We're going to see that power come alive, and he's going to be the guy that's going to make a real difference because we're not expecting it from him, right? No one, if you ask someone who's the most likely to hit 3 home runs on the White Sox in this playoffs, he's going to get picked 7th or 8th or something like that. I expect the power to show up, and I expect him to be a huge difference because we didn't have that power during the regular season. An extra gear, if you will.
I like it. I think the White Sox got a couple guys that when the big lights are on, and we saw that in the Field of Dreams game, TA, they kind of step up a little bit, like the spotlight and everything going on them. Aloha, Mr. Hand. Who do you got as your big X factor here?
Well, first I was going to say Moncada because not for all the reasons Beef gave, which are true, but for the simple fact that he loves his bling, and this is a chance for him to get more. But I'm actually going to go with Eloy because Eloy missed out on the opportunity really to play in the playoffs last year. And I think this is just going to be him. Like, I want to get out there and show people who I am and what I can really do. With the injury last year, with the injury in spring training and everything else, I just think he's going to be locked in and ready to go.
That's fair. Aldo, who you got, bud?
I mentioned earlier, I think it's going to be because, again, I don't see like obviously starting pitching is going to be important, but it's going to come down to the bullpens. A guy like Aaron Bummer, and we know what Hendricks is, Kimbrel, even though despite some of the struggles, I mean, he's one of the best closers of all time. But if Aaron Bummer can just be like that shutdown guy, maybe not as dominant as he was in 2019, but if he comes close to that, Sox must be, or Tony La Russa especially, he's gonna have probably one of the easiest jobs of all the managers in the first round. He's gonna have three guys, and then that's not even counting Kopech as a guy that's I can just throw this guy out there, and I know that he's going to get me out of this inning with no runs allowed. So Aaron Bummer, if he can step up and just be a third shutdown reliever for the Sox, I think Sox looking pretty good against the Houston.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, 108 crew. I forgot which one of you three mentioned it, but didn't Aaron Bummer finish the season with a negative average launch angle? It was something crazy. It was.
He did. I don't know if that was either. It was not either my Sox number. Maybe it was Treasy.
Just take credit for it.
He did. It wasn't me. The end of the year with a negative launch angle. That is absolutely correct. Yeah.
See, I read stuff.
See, I read.
See the shoe? It says Adidas.
It did have pictures, but I read it.
Yep.
Hey,
what about you?
Yumper, you can suck. I know, and I already said the joke, so late.
Does it need words if it has bright pictures? Charlie Day has made a living and it survived his entire life without being able to read. So,
right? Hey. I mean, hey, so are you going to me? Zoe?
We are now, bud.
All right.
you
So,
took it to you.
X Factor, I don't want to go too far deep in the playoffs, like deep playoff run. We got to get through this first series first. And the guy that I think we're going to need to have be the X Factor here is Lance Lynn. Like, if he's going to go 2 games, we need that motherfucker to have a good game.
That's a bingo.
This first one out. So, like, that would be the thing that I would do for on the pitching side. And then I'll hold my other answer in case somebody else has it. So I don't want to fuck them up.
Fitz, what do you got, bud?
I'm so glad you saved B. Arthur and then froze on the screen. That was perfect. Oh, wait, no. For me,
I don't know what that means. Oh, it's a
indigestion. All right.
my X Factor is the guy that's about to become a household name in the postseason, and that's Luis Robert. Period. This is time. It's time. This is his moment. I know Tim Anderson is going to shine under the spotlight 100%. I know it's going to happen, but Luis Robert is about to become another name like Fernando Tatis. He's going to be the guy that everyone's begging to be their spokesperson. He's about to become that electric. Now, I think Eloy can do it too. It's potential. There's a potential that there will be 2 X factors, and it could be Eloy and Luis Robert that take the spotlight because they are younger, more juiced up kind of guys in the sense that like the big moment really draws. Well, not that juice, just orange juice or pizza, Domino's juice, whatever. But they're going to draw that energy, and I think that younger guys really do. Like we're seeing this with a lot of these younger guys in the game. Whether it's Guerrero, who's been fantastic for his team when they needed him most down the stretch, and you're going to see these guys take the moment. And I think that you're going to see. I think Luis Robert's going to take the spotlight, and I think that Eloy might. If both of those guys take the spotlight, shit, it's over, done. We're done. Yep. We're done here. This is a non-discussion. It's a non sequitur. The White Sox are going to roll through this, and that's the thing is I just think that. But of all of them, I think this is going to be a Luis Robert moment. I in my gut, it tells me that the guy that plays that way and that builds and has that it factor more than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I think that he has the most it factor on anybody on that team. It's gonna. I think that this is his time.
And speaking of these guys playing up with the crowds, there was no crowds last year. Like these guys, this is going to be a lot of these young guys' first experience with that crazy fucking energy. Everyone on this call and everyone listening, you've been to a game where you could feel that energy from the crowd. And this is going to be these guys' first experience. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see that. Josh, who do you got?
Well, I'm going to touch on a little bit of everyone's. Mr. Aloha going with Eloy Jimenez. I think he's the most important player for the White Sox. And the reason is that I think out of all of his plate appearances, he's going to have the most runners on. So he's going to be coming up at a critical time for the White Sox and optimal run scoring opportunities. He's going to have the most RBI opportunities for the White Sox in this postseason. What can he do in those at-bats? If you're looking for a 3-run homer, it's probably coming from Eloy Jimenez. Aaron Bummer, that Eldo brought up. The critical matchup in this postseason is in a high leverage situation when you got Brantley coming up to bat and you got Alvarez waiting on deck or in the hole, or even Kyle Tucker. Aaron Bummer is going to get those opportunities. Can Bummer neutralize Michael Brantley? If he can, he probably go up against Alex Bregman, and this is where keeping the ball on the ground is going to be important. And then facing Yordan Alvarez. I feel more comfortable when the Astros go 2-3-4 in that order in the 8th inning, have Aaron Bummer take on that inning than Craig Kimbrell, and then saving Kimbrell for later or try to use Kimbrell earlier, maybe in the 7th inning. But if I'm Tony La Russa and I'm planning on matchups in this postseason, I need Bummer to face Brantley late in the game. My Sox summer picking Lance Lynn. That's a great option as well, especially if he's going to try to get this monkey off his back. That's the Houston Astros. And then, K-Fid's mentioning Luis Robert. And I agree with him that I think if there's anyone in this postseason that could have a Randy Arozarena type of run, it's Luis Robert. For me, I think the one player in the White Sox that could be a deciding factor is the guy that's got the most postseason experience, and that's Yasmani Grandal. And the way that Grandal has been hitting since coming off the injured list, complete surprise. The walking, no, that's not a surprise. Him being an unstoppable offensive force was a bit of a surprise, especially with the homers, and the slash line is incredible. But behind the plate, he has been criticized over the years for not blocking all the pitches, and those have really hurt Grandal in critical moments, allowing runners to score from third on a wild pitch because he can't block a pitch in the dirt, or allowing guys to get to second base. So there's a little bit of pressure on Grandal himself, but Grandal also has to work with Lance Lynn to get this monkey off his back. That's the Houston Astros. Work with Lucas Giolito and see if Giolito can capture the magic that he had in Oakland last postseason, and get Dylan Cease ready for Game 3 for the blackout, which will be a sellout crowd, the most intense game that the young Dylan Cease has ever pitched in before. So for Grandal, can you still provide that type of offense on top of playing better defensively and get these pitchers ready to go against the Houston Astros? It's asking a lot on one player, but if there's any player to put this type of pressure on, it is Yasmani Grandal, who's been through this, and I know that the Houston Astros cost him a World Series ring in 2017, so there's some personal vengeance going on for Grandal in this series against Houston. But man, if he continues to hit like he has, and if he can help Lance Lynn get that monkey off his back against the Astros in Game 1, it'll go a long way for the White Sox in this series.
No, it's totally agree. Go ahead, Beef.
Father Zoe, may I throw a statistical log on the fire here? We were talking about Team Ball Go Far and all that stuff. You know, the two guys on the White Sox and how the Astros, they throw a lot of ground balls, right? They're trying to force you to ground balls. The two regulars on the White Sox with the lowest ground ball rates in 2021 are Luis Robert and Yasmani Grandal. So if you're looking for two guys to be lifting some home runs in this series, those are probably your guys. Those are the guys that don't pound the ball into the ground. So I love both those picks.
I need a Grandal bat drop Game 1 like I need air to breathe. I just need it. I just need it.
Damn right. You're damn
now,
right.
Didn't Grandal also earlier in the season when he was taking the walks, wasn't he rolling over a ton too? So is this, you know, the fact that we've gone from rolling over to maybe the best get the ball up in the air guy, that just tells me a ton about just what kind of guy he is, because he works hard, he fixes, he makes adjustments.
And he's seen McCullers at his height and power, right? McCullers had a terrific postseason in World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's seen McCullers often enough to understand when the sinker is coming, because that was the question in the chat, right? How do you hit against Lance McCullers? You're not hitting the slider. You're not hitting the curveball. Your only prayer is barreling up one of the two-seam fastballs that's a sinker, according to StatCast, and be able to drive that pitch. And it's a combination of being patient enough and understanding and recognizing the sinker coming out of McCullers' hand that, all right, I see it, I'm going to swing. But if you're just in automatic swing mode thinking that McCullers is going to throw a sinker in the first two pitches, that's not the case, because McCullers is not afraid to throw like 20 straight curveballs in an inning. So it's a weird combination, but that's the one pitch to zero in on for all White Sox hitters Game 1 is going to be the sinker. And I think Grandal has the best batter's eye in the White Sox lineup. And if you're counting on anyone to capitalize on that pitch, Grandal is a good bet.
No, I'm with you all the way there, and I definitely agree that you got to jump on the fastball or sinker, whatever StatCast wants to call it. My guy, and I appreciate you guys leaving him for me, is I'm Tim Anderson. I mean, we've mentioned it a couple times, but to me, you got to look no farther back than the Field of Dreams game. TA showed up for that game, and that was TA in his environment. He knew the entire baseball world's eyes were on him. They had all the pregame stuff, everything going on. There's the ticket stub, but and then for him to hit the walk-off with the cinematic, you know, the people are calling it jazz hands, but the game over hands that he was doing with the fireworks in the back, he lives for moments like this. He steps up for moments like this. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations. I don't want to say he's the straw that stirs the drink, because that's Adam Eaton, and that guy fucking sucks. So we're going to go with Tim Anderson, but I'm going to go – I think TA is the guy. And then kind of staying in that area, there's, you know, we talked about the guy that needs to be the X factor, but and you already said this could be the Luis Robert, you know, puts his name on the baseball map, but there always seems to be that guy that's not as well known that makes the big play in the playoffs. And I mean, I'm there's not too many guys you can pick out of here for the White Sox, but you can include bullpen arms as well. I'm pretty sure I know the favorable answer here, but we'll start with you, Beef. Who do you got as maybe not an everyday starter that you could see being a big factor in these playoffs?
Yeah. Reciting White Sox who don't hit the ball on the ground. I did a blog to try to see who it was. I mentioned the regulars that don't hit the ball on the ground. But there's two bench players that also almost never hit the ball on the ground. And those two guys are Zach Collins and Brian Goodwin. So it wouldn't surprise me if you got a Zach Collins at bat at some point in a game where he lifted one out of the ballpark, because for some reason he just doesn't hit the ball on the ground as much as we all think he does. Yeah, no, Josh is looking. We said unlikely, Josh. Someone who's unlikely. We've got to pick a bench player here. All right.
The reason why his ground ball rate is so low because he doesn't put the bat on the ball.
Yeah, strikeouts for sure.
I love how instantly fired up you got, Josh. I love how I can't talk about it. I've been hashtag done with Zach Collins for more than half the season, so I can't talk about it.
That's exactly why he's an unlikely person.
Can we get a timeout real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're having the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter with us, and we have obviously the man of questionable character as well. So you're not drinking Jack Daniels, I know that. What is everybody drinking tonight? Although I see that Brizzo cup too. Yeah, you know, it's like a big. It's water with a W. That's why you have the W on there. It means water. The W on that Brizzo cup means. What are you guys drinking?
I just finished a Goose Island. It's called a Hazy Dog. It's an 8% beer that they released in Chicago. It's a limited release. It's a double dry hop, double IPA. It's a monster. It's fucking delicious. I am drinking a Flamingo right now, which is a mango-infused tropical IPA. Also from our good friends at Goose Island. And I have, if I get there, I have a Gator Rider, which is a pina colada hazy milkshake IPA from Goose Island that I also will be drinking. And then if it gets real crazy,
and then
I got the 312 Shandy in there and a couple of fucking hard seltzers. Just in case.
If we don't get into the hard seltzers, we failed you.
If I ever create a brand of anything, you are my first pitch man, my Sox. Holy shit. Was that a Goose Island? And I've noticed this whole show you've been doing the product placement in the fucking screen too. So, Jesus Christ.
Listen,
I wouldn't buy a car. I don't even need a new car. I would buy a new car from your ads. And I'm not even a White Sox fan, so I wouldn't even get the discount. I didn't even get the discount.
Them guys, they're off 159th. Orland Mazda, they're fucking awesome.
I play regular price, but I would go there.
Honestly, though, like the question, not the question, the reason that you get this many plugs is you make sure the shit shows up at my door, and then I just drink it and I throw it right up on that fucking podcast. I'm like very thankful to the good.
That's definitely
at Goose Island.
It's 6 in the morning, right? Beef Loaf. You guys are streaming live at 6 a.m. My Sox Summer's not going to sleep. He's just going to be like, we're going to get to the Carson Fulmer edition of My Sox Summer. And it looks like he's going to be passed out. And then the kids are going to wake him up at 5 in the morning. And he's like, oh, damn, I got another podcast to do.
I do forget.
You guys have been hungover before, Josh?
You guys have children. So, like, for me, at 6 a.m., I drive to school at 6 a.m. Literally, it's grunting and fucking around with listening to usually the Lithium channel on Sirius. You guys are going to actually have to talk at 6 in the morning. I applaud you.
You're also cleaning off a pizza from your shoe from your Postmates 3 a.m. call, too, right?
I don't know if that's pizza. It could be the second pizza that comes out after that. It could be something on my shoe. But
Mr. Ham, what are you drinking? I already know the answer, but go ahead and tell the people. Yeah, and for those of you listening on Thursday, that is a enormous bottle of Jack Daniels.
It is not only. It is a Sinatra Select.
The Sinatra Select.
There's no way it's regular Jack Daniels. It's the Sinatra Select for sure.
Because he's going to be with me here in Vegas. Speaking of Sinatra, this weekend, so that is special Sinatra connection. We're going to actually go maybe even drink where Sinatra used to drink.
I'm going to need you guys to vlog some of that shit because you two together in Vegas would be something I would watch. That is, you two together in Vegas do like a vlog
next to Cleopatra's Barge in Caesars. And my favorite place next to Cleopatra's Barge in Vegas serves Sinatra Select.
Yes, they do. And you can then crawl up on there like Beavis and Butthead and have your day and then go grab a stogie.
Exactly.
What are we going to do with Wally's balls, though? Like, they're going to be all over Vegas all weekend.
I'm very
And
nervous about that.
He's the guy with the Sorry.
Hey,
Your Garden Gym has a good suggestion.
Beefalo, you drinking? Hopefully not Wally's balls.
This could be a great double IPA and or a sour.
I'm also drinking Goose Island, but not. I'm not going to give you the whole. I'm not going to give you the whole commercial like my Sock Summer. I have a tiny fridge on my desk, so I'm
Hype man.
just drinking Sock Ale right now. But yes, sticking to the brand, baby.
I did see
That's
that
a
new White
golden
Sox,
ale.
the alternate uniform, the old uni can as well. That looks pretty cool. From that's Goose Island too, right?
Yes,
Yes.
which is very, very limited. So you want to make sure you get your ass out there and buy that immediately because we already talked to our guy, and the guy was like, I can. He's like, I can maybe get you a 12-pack. So if I can't get it, it's going to be hard. So get your ass out there and buy some motherfucking Goose Island retro cans. All right, do that.
I do need to point out that Scott Miller chose violence.
Yeah, that's the second or third Astros in 4 we've gotten.
Congratulations on the marriage, though. Congratulations on the new, the nuptials and whatnot with the picture apparently you're new with.
Josh, I hope you're drinking something strong, bud. What do you got down there?
Gatorade Zero. Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
A breakfast of
Dr. Pepper.
Liam Hendricks.
That's pretty much my
Damn it,
bloodstream
Josh.
this week. Just the amount of work. I'm glad everyone is playing along with the over-unders on Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
It's 4 a day. And my poor heart on Saturday is going to be like, no, we're not drinking any more caffeine. You're just going to have to sleep for 10 hours. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
I keep the Diet Dr. Peppers on deck. Right now I am drinking my non-sponsor who should be sponsoring me.
Not a
The
sponsor.
delicious Busch Light. Not a sponsor. No free ads. But yeah, I'm drinking Busch Light. You drinking something called Flamingo?
Flamingo.
Oh,
Drinking Don Flamenco. He's drinking
Yes.
a hairpiece IPA.
It's a rose infused double dry hopped IPA, the Don Flamenco. Yeah.
It comes from the
Is it
left,
aged
right,
with goat's milk?
left,
Boom.
right until you're knocked out.
Uppercut.
I totally missed that reference until the end. All right, I got you. All right, back to the baseball.
Oh, I'm drinking Atomic Duck, by the way, if you're wondering, Zoe.
I'm just glad it's not a half a bottle of scotch or something like you.
Oh no, that's right here in the disposal
Oh,
flask.
okay, there it is. I was worried for a second.
Or is it here in the? I don't know which one.
No,
but-
it's yeah.
So
Usually you
speaking
can
of
tell when that
scotch,
scotch
so Rob Hart, who is a great White Sox historian, was going through newspaper ads for XYZ reason. Back in 1983, the last time that Tony La Russa managed a White Sox postseason game, and Johnny Walker had a full-page ad in the Chicago Tribune for a 1.75 liter of Johnny Walker Red. And if any of you have that, that's got to be a collector's item because I've never seen a 1.75 liter handle bottle of Johnny Walker at all. And it really provides a new definition of a blackout game if you do have a 1.75 liter handle of Johnny Walker Red.
Or as Beef calls it, Thursday night at the 108.
I can't drink the Johnny Walker, man. That shit rips through my esophagus like a hot knife through butter. I don't know what it is.
It's got some spice.
Drink this.
It's some water.
You guys are silly with that shit. I just tried to Google Tony La Russa Johnny Walker ad and nothing came up. So that's definitely a gem.
Did
So
you
Josh,
did you Google? Never mind. Forget it.
does it have to have a handle?
Yeah, I'll find it for you guys.
Because they have 1.75 liters of Johnny Walker Red at Costco.
Of course they do.
Costco would. You know,
course
out of
they
all
do.
the
So
places
I
on
could
planet
pick you up
Earth.
one when I go there to get my pizza.
If you're
You
buying,
should.
if you're not buying the Costco vodka for $20, the 1999 vodka at Costco, you're missing out. That's the that goes along. That's basically what is it? Grey Goose? It's Grey Goose. It's Grey Goose. It is it, but for $20, and that's trouble because that bottle's like fucking huge.
Here,
Although they do have a Buffalo Trace.
I'm gonna tag you, Father Zoe. in
Yes,
this
I would like
tweet.
to see this. I would definitely like to see this. Because
It's a great find.
that's
Robbie.
interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, the only Johnny Walker I drink. I have one uncle that he drinks the Johnny Walker, whatever color is the best color, and he gets it every year on Christmas. And if he likes you that year, you get to have a drink with him. So it's like a very big deal if he calls you over to have he calls it a sip of
it's a
tea
blue.
of his
Wow.
Johnny
The
Walker
Johnny
Blue.
Walker Blue.
That's impressive.
I'm 2 years running, dude. I got like 80 cousins
in?
on the south side alone, and yeah, I'm in. Yes, the Zawaski family is plenty on the south side.
So you're
but-
going for the three-peat this year.
Yes,
You're going for the
big
three-peat.
time. And I think I got it. We had beers on Sunday, and he likes to tell me how much Nagy sucks, and I listened to the whole speech. So I think I'm in again this year. I think I'm
Hey,
in.
I have a question for you guys. This is. I mean, Aldo. I mean, you can answer this too. I mean, you and I would basically probably be like, I have no idea. That's why I'm asking you guys as Sox, as our delicious Sox experts here. Who's going to be the Brian Doyle of the postseason for the White Sox? Who's going to be the guy that nobody knows that rolls out and hits 438,
I don't
delivers,
think, can I
and you're
stop
like,
you for a
what?
second, K-Fitch? I think I'm the only one who knows who Brian Doyle is.
That's why I'm throwing it out there. We got to reach our older demographic that are right now currently listening on the delay with their dial-up internet at the retirement community. So we got to do our job. Look, our Monday night audience,
I'm
the take
gonna be a
love,
total geek.
get some love too, because they're all 70.
I'm going to be a total geek now. Wasn't it Brian Doyle and Bucky Dent? Okay.
Honestly, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I have no fucking clue what you guys are talking about.
Brian Doyle,
I think Beef and My Summer might get it.
World Series.
Well, you
Yeah.
might as well. Yeah, you might as well elaborate on it now because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, Brian Doyle was an obscure, basically journeyman, middle infielder that, who just
Willie
basically in the
Randolph got
postseason.
hurt. Willie Randolph got hurt,
Right.
and he
From
stepped in for
1978.
Willie Randolph with the Yankees.
Now, I was only 1 year old at that point, but Brian Doyle ran the camp that I went to when I was a kid, and I learned all about Brian Doyle and Doyle
Wait,
baseball.
weren't we already answering this question?
I'm just asking
Yeah.
who
Because
is.
Beefliff got Zach Collins.
Yeah, and then we stopped.
No,
And
Aldo,
then-
stop. No. God damn it. No.
Believe in Zach Collins.
Yeah.
Aldo,
So who are our,
I'm
like,
not a believer
holy
either.
shit, where did this guy? Who are your picks to be like the what?
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
what we
if
started.
it's for America, who may not know who these guys are outside of Chicago, I would say Lurie Garcia,
Yes.
who's going to be batting in the lower third of the lineup. He's been hitting a lot better as of late. People are going to be surprised to know that Lurie Garcia is the longest tenured White Sox player on the roster, not Jose Abreu. And that's going to bring up a lot of questions of, oh my gosh, when did Lurie Garcia join the White Sox? Oh, did you totally forget about this Alex Rios to the Texas Rangers deal? Oh man, did you remember Alex Rios was the Texas Rangers? It's that type of rabbit hole you go on Baseball Reference. But I mentioned Lurie Garcia because he's been playing a lot better in the past month for the White Sox. He is a switch hitter, and I'm expecting him to be in the lineup. And if you're looking for a Brian Doyle, a guy that goes 5 for 12
I will never
in this
forget Brian Doyle
series,
now.
Lurie Garcia would be a good pick. And then you'll have a bunch of people across the country asking, who the heck is Lurie Garcia?
By the way, just so I can clarify, Brian Doyle ran the camp, so you guys will appreciate this. It's where a certain member of the former member of the Chicago Cubs who had a special relationship with Ryan Sandberg's wife that led to them being traded, also was an instructor. So that's where Brian Doyle
Is he a
always.
manager or is he a steroid guy?
He's a manager currently in DC.
Before we move on, I'm going to pause for a second. Shout out to the Chicago Sky for making it to the WNBA Finals. That's pretty
Nice.
fucking dope. Chicago
Who they playing?
Sports, I think we're coming around. Chicago Sports are coming around, baby. We got good things popping here.
Who do they
you
play?
love to see it.
The Connecticut Sun.
Yep.
Sky versus Sun.
Hey,
Yeah,
why are the
good.
Mercury, why are the Aces still alive? Oh, it's still the semifinals. So it's not the
Yeah.
finals.
No, they made it to the finals.
Oh, they're in the finals, so they're playing either the Aces or the Mercury.
Yep.
Because okay, God, I was just making sure the Vegas team wasn't totally eliminated. I felt like, wait, where was that?
What do you got, Aldo?
I was gonna say, does that scare you? Because there's always an imbalance in Chicago sports. Obviously, the Cubs go down, Sox are up now. Bulls, they were bad for a lot of years. Now they're on the come up, or hopefully.
No,
Obviously,
it's our time.
the Sox are in the sky, going to the finals. Justin Fields just named a starter. Something always good happens, and then something bad happens.
So
And
Aldo,
Frank
I'm glad.
Schwindel is on the
Frank
roster.
Schwindel, rookie of the month again.
No, he wasn't he
my
player of the
God.
month or rookie of the
Oh,
month?
my God.
Rookie of the month.
Oh, god dang it!
Jesus Christ.
Let's
I
not
think
get
the-
let's not get Beeflip all riled up.
All the bad stuff's going to happen to the Chicago Fire. So that's where it's all headed.
There you go.
Shout out to the
Okay.
Fire for jumping on
I
that.
feel
sword.
really bad for the Chicago Sting fans. They're going to really have a bad
Sting
I-
sucks.
couple decades.
I looked at the Bears schedule. I could see the Bears losing the next 6 games despite Justin Fields as the quarterback.
Can I say,
So there's the team that's gonna take one for the
right.
city of Chicago.
hey,
They'll
I
win
was
that Halloween game, no problem. Right,
We'll
Josh?
see.
I had
We'll
a
see.
ticket for this weekend's game and then I lost it. And this weekend, I'm like, I'm not going to really pay. Like the prices for this Bears weekend here in Vegas, it's sitting like even nosebleeds are sitting at like $250, $300 right now. Like, which is great. Before the vaccination stuff, it was actually like at what, like $1,000 per ticket. I snuck in, got a ticket. And so I was not willing to pay this price. I wouldn't have paid $100 to go see Andy Dalton. So I'll pay to see Justin Fields. I'm good with that. Even if he sucks, I'm cool. At the anticipation alone, which should not be how White Sox fans feel when you're in the postseason. You go. This is not a wave and hello. We've just experienced this. This is now it's time to do some fucking work.
Mr. Goose Island, who do you got as your non-starter making an impact?
The unexpected guy to stand up.
I love that you just referred to your notes. You totally got this ready to go. You're gonna fucking nail it.
I want everyone to see what's on there. And that bastard Josh Nelson took mine, and it's Luis Garcia. I was like, this is the guy. And the thing is because
Before you
hates him. Everyone he has an undeserved amount of hate for how much.
Okay,
good
I gotta stop
he
you
has
there
done.
because this is a whole beef loaf thing. Okay,
It's true,
Luis
though,
Garcia
Here we go.
forced the White Sox to get Cesar Hernandez because Luis Garcia was having a terrible time at second base, a terrible time. So he got the right amount of criticism.
Hang on, what
because
happened
his
when you
poor
turn the
play-
when you turn the page over? What happened? What happened next?
Yeah,
What happens next?
you know what? That's a great question, Lurie. It would have been great to know if you were to turn this around, so we didn't have to give up. Who do they give up again? No, I'm kidding.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, it
I'll
would
get
have been.
this,
Yeah,
though.
it would have been helpful.
You know what? Josh is stepping on me a lot. You know what, Josh? Fuck you and fuck others out. I'm playing this under protest because I thought we were picking someone.
Oh,
unexpected.
here we
Someone
go.
goddamn
Playing under
starter.
Bitch.
Here-
Garcia's going to start this series. I thought we were supposed to pick someone unexpected, like not a guy who plays every day.
But no one expects him to do anything because he sucks. Because everyone's like, he sucks. He sucks.
If you
So he's
go
gonna
to
do
someone in
something.
Seattle and you give them the White Sox roster and ask him to fill out the lineup, they'll get stuck after the first 6 guys.
How many people in Seattle are watching this right now? That's what I want to know. I see. That's why I'm playing it under
Shout out
protest.
to our Seattle viewers.
You guys,
According to the analytics, Beeflo,
Well,
Keep
we got
rolling.
one in
Market.
Vancouver,
keep
probably.
rolling. I got a real answer. Let's see what everyone else.
Oh, okay. All right. What is your real answer, Mr.
no.
Beeflo?
I gave it already. Zach Collins.
Oh
Zach
my
Collins.
freaking
Guy
God.
that
If
has-
Zach Collins plays a single inning in this game, it has been a disastrous
Now, that would
postseason.
be unexpected.
Yasmani
wouldn't it, Josh?
Grandal blew
Wouldn't that
his
be
freaking knee
unexpected?
running down first base. He is fallen in between the base paths. He is dying in the base
I
paths.
expect Larry Garcia to get 16 plate appearances or whatever. I expect Zach Collins to get none or 1. So
Yeah,
he would
so
be
why would you
extremely
pick
unexpected.
him? Why
Is he
would you pick him to be your guy, to be the unexpected Brian Doyle?
Because I don't expect him to do anything. That's why.
Then you don't pick him because he's not going to hit.
but if-
The question is, who's
He
going to be
gets
the
in there.
guy that
my
nobody
guy.
knows in the country in the White Sox lineup?
We are in a time is a flat circle moment right now.
I'm gonna text Kim to get you a bottle of prosecco. Stat. Sure. You need one. All right, we need you to relax a little bit. You're too amped up on your caffeine-free diet Dr.
Because he's
Pepper.
freaking picking Zach Collins. No, if there's one player that spells doom that bats in this postseason, well, maybe this series at least, it's Zach Collins. Because
what would
then
be where
something
Zach
happened-
Collins, for whatever reason, gets like multiple at bats in a game, or you see Dallas Keuchel out there pitching?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's worse?
Oh, that's a good one. Although you little shit stir. Oh, that's a good one.
I would say Collins is worse.
Well,
because
Collins can walk. That's the
Right, but with
benefit. That's what you're hoping for.
Right, but generally Collins, if you really do see him out there, to what you were saying earlier, Josh, that might not be very positive news.
Something wrong happened with Grandal.
Yes.
Or something is wrong with the Brayu that Grandal has to play first.
Yes. And Keuchel.
Yeah.
And the thing with Keuchel's your mop-up guy. So if you see Keuchel in there, he's just in there to eat innings or something like that. That's all that he's there for. He actually serves a purpose, a crappy purpose, but a purpose nonetheless.
We'll see if he's even on the roster. But Beef, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to jump on you.
See,
You bring up
I like
Zach
this.
Collins.
I like
You're one of the
this.
few Zach Collins defenders in the world.
Josh, I love you, baby. You know that.
Look at his stats for the last half of the last month of the season. Is Zach Collins really that bad? If you look at his numbers,
Oh my God! Do not sell yourself on this bullshit.
No. I'm not in that
top hand.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
did I just see Dustin Turner hit a piss missile? Yes, I did.
So let me pose this question for the White Sox folks. Brian Goodwin, you mentioned Goodwin, Beef Loaf, and he doesn't hit the ball on the ground. He's been kind of cold, but we've seen him go on a cold spell, and even myself thinking, yeah, Goodwin's going to get DFA, get sent back to Charlotte because he's back to hit 200 again, and then snaps out of it, and he's hitting bombs into the bleachers. He's hitting walk-off home runs. Yep. Maybe Brian Goodwin is that guy. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he very well could be. I mean, it just depends on the playing time allocation, right? From what I saw, I thought I saw someone tweet out, maybe it was one of the beat reporters saying that the Astros they did a full announcement of what the lineup was going to be. And they're probably just guessing. They don't know, but they had Lurie Garcia in right field and hitting 8th or whatever the fuck. Now, if that spot ends up going to Goodwin, you end up seeing a little Brian Goodwin allocation of time. I could totally see it. Yeah, absolutely.
Brian Goodwin did tweet out, does anyone know a good barber here in Houston? So he's down there with the squad. I don't know if you want to read between the lines on what that means, but some people are taking it as he's on the playoff roster for sure. I wouldn't mind. I'm going to take the easy name here because I don't know why no one said Gavin Sheets yet, but it's going to be Gavin Sheets because
saving it for you, Zoe.
Yep.
Saving it for you.
Yeah, Zoe, come on.
I appreciate it.
I have one that
respect.
What's that, Mr. Han?
And he will not pitch, and he will not bat. Billy Hamilton, because he's going to come in a key situation as a pinch runner, steal second, move over to third on a sack.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And then
create havoc. Create havoc.
I haven't muted a microphone yet, and if you would have said Tony La Russa, I was going to mute you so fucking fast. Oh, my God.
Hey, you should see how fast he fucking sprinted out of the dugout.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I had the trigger finger was ready on that one. Holy shit.
By the way, this is a total ADHD moment. Did anybody else read that whole discussion about Tony La Russa and how he felt about the time that Pujols got hit diving into a pitch because he was obviously Pujols had the same kind of swing where it's the upper inner half is just it's a question mark. And he was talking about how he was pissed off and he ran. La Russa hates dudes that throw up and in against his guys. So there was a Pujols. I don't know who shared it. It was a great thing on Twitter today. I read the excerpt from whatever the story was, and it was it was talking about La Russa's I hate it. I don't like if you can't throw inside, don't throw inside. And I actually disagreed with him on that. But if you can't defend yourself, don't dive over the plate either. But it's not either or. I just thought that was really interesting to see that.
Yeah,
again,
we'll tweet it out. I know I saw the tweet too. It's an excerpt. It's like an excerpt from his book or something like that. I was one of the beat writers that tweeted it out. We'll find it out and we'll tweet it out from at Pinwheels Ivy Pod. But
Tony ain't gonna fuck around. And he runs out. He'll come get you. He'll grab you by the ear, drag you to the dugout you're grounded.
But as they mentioned in the comments, though, Mr. Han, I think that was a great point. Billy Hamilton would be like the Dave Roberts on his team. I think that's more of you need a guy like that, and I think Billy's a great guy for that. It's no secret that he's very well liked in the locker room. He's always kind of a rah-rah guy on that bench there too. So love having him on the bench. Love having him in that situation.
Who loves him most?
Who God? Yes, Bruhan Luke is the officially
is the president of the Billy Hamilton fan club, the Hamilton
Yes.
Homies.
Or the Gumas.
This specific topic has gone completely off the fucking rails. Did I miss anybody? Anybody got another guy that they want to throw out there?
Aldo?
One more vote for Zach Collins.
God damn.
I knew he was gonna do it. I knew he was gonna do it. I put it in a fucking T for him.
I can't wait
No,
to see it. I
so
can't wait
I'll
to
be
see
honest.
Josh's first tweet when Zach Collins
Josh's
is
head
like
is
on
about to
deck circle.
explode.
So I'm going to be honest with you. With this
Why
segment,
should he
I
he
thought
didn't
it was going
move?
to come out. Father Zoe, I thought it was going to come out in this segment. Andrew Vaughn, I thought was the name that was going to come out. Because I know Father Zoe
Not against a lefty.
schooling me.
I mean, a righty. Not against a righty.
was schooling me before the season about how great Andrew Vaughn was going to be. And I'm
All right,
a
I'll
dummy
fight
for
you.
thinking, the guy might not be able to hit that much or whatever.
I'll
And he
fight
was
you.
schooling the shit out of me. He's like, this guy's generational hitter and all this shit. So I thought
Can't
so
even start
we would
game
pick him,
one.
you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
you got
right.
Now you
We'll
got
go
me.
right to the source. We'll go right to the source because I was schooling you because Fizz was schooling me. Because Fizz is the one that broke down his swing before he even got drafted by the White Sox. He was still at Cal, and Fizz was like, "Zoe, you got to look at this kid Andrew Vaughn swing, dude. Quit with the finger." And
I went from like bringing it on to like
Yeah.
Elliot.
but Fitz has been
I
breaking
have
down
one
his
more
swing
X
since he
factor,
was
by
in
the way.
college. Vaughn, obviously, he had the inflammation in his back, which I won't get into. It takes some ibuprofen, but hopefully,
Yeah, you say that, and then you're like, you stayed home Monday.
Zoe with his 20 back surgeries over there.
yeah, so take some damn
And that's the
ibuprofen.
ESBs on the guys with the back soreness, huh? We don't want to like let it escalate. I'm gonna say this right now, though. I've been on the Vaughn train forever, and yes, he is still also how old, and he's just not ready to hit righties yet. That's fine, but guess what? You throw Vaughn against the
Generational hitter.
what are his numbers against lefties?
Well,
and
Vaughn
then
is basically going through the minor leagues and the majors.
yep, name how many hitters do you know that do that?
I mean,
Well,
that was my
so-
whole argument, and you still told me the guy was going to be great. So that's what I'm just asking. That was my whole argument. Like,
By the way-
from single A, oh, he's still going to be good. Okay, all right. I'm
If
with
you can-
You're right.
If you can bet the over under on home runs in this series now, Beef Nightingale just did it again.
Yep.
So we're gonna go right
Andrew Vaughn's
to
going to have a 3 home
And
run
I
game.
bet-
too.
2 homers as the over for
That's
Andrew
why you
Vaughn
should've picked him, man. That's what
in
Yep.
the ALDS.
Yeah, I'm gonna
One game
real-
too. He's only gonna play one game. He only got one lefty starter, so he'll be a pinch hitter late, except for one ball game, probably, right?
So get those Andrew
Yeah, he'll
Vaughn
be in game 2.
playoff MVP bets in now. It's official, locked in. He's got the beef love, but
Might
I
even
think
win
Vaughn will be
presidential
fine.
election in 2014.
I think they, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely think that they work a Vaughn Sheets matchup thing at DH. If Vaughn's good to go, I don't know. I would imagine he would be. I mean,
Houston
By the way,
has
I
a lot
have
of lefty
mean-
relievers, right?
You're just so mean towards Andrew.
hold on, one at a time, Fitz.
Beef's just mean towards Andy. My buddy Andy.
And
I
what you
like
got,
him.
Josh,
I like him.
about
I
the
want him to be
lefties?
good.
Does Houston have any lefty relievers?
They
They
have
have two.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have
two.
two.
I don't remember their names offhand, but they have 2 lefty relievers. No one that's you would consider like one of their main guys.
Team
Zach-
Zach Collins.
Team Zach Collins is showing up in the comments now, and I love every bit of it. Oh man, Josh,
Let me know
get
what
a
team
heavy
he's
bag, bud.
playing on March 30th, 2022.
The Chicago
Nate,
White
you know
Sox.
what? I love Nate. I want to give Nate some love because you know what?
Nate's awesome.
He believes in the vet. He believes in the old school dude that's just going to show up and just do the job.
So then,
But
This
Yumper like
brings me-
Mr. Lowe.
How old is it?
two-
Collins, 26.
yep,
Yes.
he's not an old school guy.
Hey, Zoe already hashtag dunned him, so like we're actually not supposed to say his name on the show. Like
I can't say his
Aldo
Well,
can't.
Zoe can't say. Zoe
Yeah,
can't
we
even have a conversation about it.
I'm with Josh.
So
though.
why
I
are you
hope
here?
he's on another team on March 30th. I would
Pick,
agree with
pick up Alex Collins if you have Chris Carson, my friend Zoe, and that still fits on the show because
Mhm.
Collins, and then my friend Zach. I should probably-
So another thing that I want to hear from the collective group here, and you cannot say, "Oh my God, that just scared the shit out of me." You cannot say it.
I will
My
not
somebody
say
showed up
that
with
scared the shit out of me. Wait,
uh,
is that not what we're supposed to say? Wait,
No,
well,
the
hold on.
My Sock Summer with the Andrew Vaughn cutout just came out
I
of
want
left.
that. Can I have that in the corner of my room? I would like to put that like in the So he's staring at me while I sleep.
That'll
and
give you nightmares. Holy
me and my lady are having those meth eyes, those greeny eyes.
Do you guys think that players look at
Greeny.
those? Are they ever like, can we please retake this? Or they don't care? Or they don't even see
You
it?
might like
Last approval.
He might like
Maybe
it.
that was
That's
the
what he
best
looks
one he
like.
took.
Although that's a great call. How could that possibly be the best picture of that man?
Yeah.
How could the White Sox
girlfriend-
say that is number one picture we're going to put on the scoreboard?
Our girlfriends on our cell
Think about it,
have to
though.
edit
That
ourselves
must have
like
been
our
the
cell
number one
phones.
picture.
he might like
Shit,
it.
like, he looks like swipe, no. Oh, hell yeah. That's the one I want. Look at that. I look alert.
I love trolls.
I really, look at that. My
I
eyes look like
love
a pair of
trolls.
eyes. I think he dropped like a picture between
Oh.
So what does the group here, and you cannot say score runs, but what do the White Sox really have? How do the White Sox win this series? Like, what do the White Sox need to execute on besides scoring more runs than the Houston Astros? I'm cutting all you Jagoffs
Catch
off at
the
the
ball.
knees.
win more
Um,
games.
But what do they need to focus
Win
on?
3
Give up less
games.
runs.
Yes.
Win 3
Give up
games.
less
God
runs.
dang it, though. You did not give the
That's
full
all right.
exclamation disclaimer.
Father,
You
so
left it
I get into this trap
Yep.
often. So I feel your pain. 3 words: ball in air. The
Yes.
White Sox must hit the ball in the air. If they're hitting a ton of grounders early in game 1 and game 2, that's going to give me an ulcer because that's going to get them in trouble. They got to hit the ball in the air. And Frank Menachino, I get it, man. You want your guys to hit 300. But the way to hit 300 in the postseason is either hitting line drives or putting the ball in the stands, because you're going up against teams that are really good on defense and they got some really good infield speed. I mean, just look around the infield for the Houston Astros. Altuve, Correa, Bregman. You don't want to hit grounders. You want to put the ball in the air, and that's, I think, going to be the key for the White Sox, because they have, last I checked, like easily a top 10 fly ball to home run ratio. And at one point it was like 20%, which is 1 out of every 5 fly balls the White Sox were hitting were going for home runs. And that's where they could really capitalize on their power. So ball in air, that's the key for the White Sox.
Wise man once told me that if you hit 3 baseballs out of 10 for a single, you will hit 300. That's how you win.
I'll take it. Anyone else jump in? Go ahead.
No,
Then you have a double play. And
Yeah, then it's wiped out. K-Fitz hasn't been watching a lot of White Sox baseball. You know how I know this?
Well, I have been watching.
The amount
too
of double plays.
My dad
Call
actually
on me,
told me-
Zoe. Call on me.
All right, what do you got, Beef?
Wait,
What are the White
habitual
Sox?
hand raiser there, seat number 7. Seat number 7, you've been called upon.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with Josh's point. The other thing that I would take into consideration, it's sort of clashing styles here. The Astros are a team that make a lot of contact. I think they were first or second in strikeout rate for their hitters, so they're going to put the ball in play a lot. And the White Sox defense is weak. It's not one of the better defenses, probably bottom third defense. However, the White Sox pitching staff were number 1 in K9. So that strikeout machine of the White Sox pitching staff needs to overcome all that contact. If they can reduce it, if they can neutralize it, like, see, this is why I'm less worried about Tampa in the next round or Boston in the next round. They'll take advantage of striking them out a lot. The Astros are a problem with that. So if they're able to use the strikeout machine, strike these guys out more, not expose the defense, I think they'll have a great shot.
By the way,
Go ahead.
did you know that in
One other thing.
their last 6 games, the Houston Astros have actually, they're 3-0 in their last 6 games when they hit 2 or more home runs. So that's a week.
Go ahead, Mr. Han. What do you got there?
Oh, the Astros hit it.
Maximize your pitch. Maximize your pitches and don't walk. Don't get cute when you're up. If you're up 0-2 on a hitter by throwing one in the dirt in the outside batter's box, attack and finish them. Yes, they are great hitters and they foul a lot of balls off, but that is no reason not to pitch to your strength because you're afraid of their strength. So I don't want to see them, which is something that they do a lot, is they live on the outside. You know, a lot of their pitching is to the outside half to the hitters. You have to go inside. And for God's sakes, they don't do this as much anymore. No 0-2 walks. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, is they get ahead 0-2 and they get cute. and then all of a sudden the runner's going down to first base. So
Yep.
let them put the ball in play, and to the point about catch the ball. That's critical. Let them put the ball in play and let your fielders do something. Do not give up free walks to these guys because they could hurt you big time if you do.
I did.
Mr. Hand.
Miles, though.
I do have to say this. I believe I read something today that said that the Houston Astros actually have the best defensive of metrics wise as far as giving up runs or not giving up runs in the postseason, and the White Sox are at the
They
lower
also
end.
have the best defense in MLB this year too. Period.
Yeah. So you can't give away runs. You cannot give away freebies, whether it's walks, because walks are runs, or a clank, or and we call this at the high school level, we call it the SBC. Should have been caught, like the fly ball that someone got a bad jump on, or somebody didn't take the right drop step to a ball down the right field line when you're a left fielder and you're right-handed, or you get a guy up, you get an 0-2 and you drop a pop foul. Like, you have to play excellent defense. Every single boo-boo will really make a huge difference in this. And the idea, like you're 100% correct. You got to pick it better. You cannot give up free runs in the postseason, especially freebies. I mean, in a regular baseball game, but in the postseason, they weigh heavy. And then, of course, the pressure creates more.
As we're seeing tonight with the Dodgers-Cardinals game.
It's tied now, right?
Yeah, well, the first run being on wild pitch offense, which we all know and love. You can't give up free runs in the postseason. What do you got there, my socks on?
I've known Aloha Mr. Hand, I think, for about 6 years, and there's not anything he hates more than the 2-strike walk. So I'm glad he threw that out there, because he has only brought that up to me about 17 million times. So that's
all?
Oh yeah. Oh,
more
dude,
than
Jose
9
Quintana, 9 times. So I'm gonna jump on this, and I think this is what we needed. Like, same with Mr. Han was saying, we have, as batters, need to be patient and not swing away and go nuts. And I gotta wait for those mistakes, because that's the one thing I wish I could change with some of these White Sox guys in their plate appearances, is that we're swinging away on the first pitch. We're swinging away when we probably shouldn't be. Let's just establish a little bit of patience and wait for that mistake, because that's when we hit those mistakes, we can capitalize on that mistake. And especially in this game one against a really good pitcher, you're not going to get much. So just make sure you wait for a good opportunity.
I understand where you're coming from, my sock summer, but I would not convey that message to Tim Anderson and Luis Robert, because it's just not in their DNA as hitters. Eloy, yeah.
Let them swing at everything, right?
Yeah. Jose Abreu, yes. These guys need to be more patient because they can be more patient. Tim Anderson and Luis Robert are never going to be big walkers. And I think that's part of the threat, right? Is I don't want to throw a first pitch fastball to TA or Robert, because they're going to take me yard. And that could play a factor feeding into my sock summer, what ends up looking like they're being patient. But it's really about the game plan of my first pitch that I'm going to swing at is going to be a fastball. And I am waiting for that fastball. And if you throw me a first pitch fastball, I'm attacking that. And I think that would be a good game plan for them.
You got to know, too, some of those guys, and you're talking about that approach, too. So, yeah, some guys are, like, out of their shoes, like, sometimes, like, they're 2-0, let's go. And what you're talking about is correct. Like, you need those dudes that are not really worried about – well, you want someone that's not going to make them, like, not worried about making the mistake, too. But what Josh just said is 100% on point.
And with Robert, the way that he's been swinging, he just makes it look so damn easy. Like, is there any effort going into your swing? He's just so strong. But, my sock summer is definitely right for the guys in the lower part of the lineup, like Gavin Sheets, right, who is starting to hit a curveball a little bit better, but he's not a great breaking ball hitter. If they flip a breaking ball in the first pitch, you should probably watch it, because you're not very good at hitting them at the moment. So, yeah, my sock summer is right. I would not pass that message on to TA and Luis Robert. Those guys can do what they want.
Major league hitters will tell you this when, like your high school coaches and your college coaches or your little league coaches say, don't guess. Major league hitters guess.
Well, they have to. You don't have enough time, right?
Exactly.
The tunnel
No
is
choice.
milliseconds, not
No
seconds.
So they're playing the same game that we play on MLB The Show when we're trying to oh, what's this motherfucker going to throw? I'm going to put it down in the left corner here.
Yep.
They know they're playing the guessing game. How can you not against 102 miles an hour? What are you?
So my big thing, and obviously what has already been mentioned, are huge points of this thing. The other thing, though, that Yasmani Grandal actually addressed in his little interview session, I think it was either Wednesday or Tuesday, White Sox pitchers got to be a little bit more aware about the base runners. Houston doesn't exactly have a lot of speed demons on the team. I think Straw and Tucker are the only ones in double digits for steals for them. But one of the issues that was brought up to Grandal was, what are you guys going to be doing differently with regards to paying attention to the runners on base? And he talked about it as if it's been a point of emphasis the last couple of days. Again, I don't think Houston's the type of team that's going to run you out of the building. But as we mentioned, free runs are magnified in playoff series, and that worries me a little bit.
So not to blow up your spot, but isn't Miles Straw in Cleveland right now?
He is.
So I don't think they need
That's
to worry
why I'm
about
not
him.
really worried about him that much.
The belly buster.
The belly buster. There it was.
I heard the name and I was like, wait a minute.
I sorted the team stats, and he was their top steals leader before he left for Cleveland. So they don't got to worry about him, which is a good thing.
I still think they got Chaz McCormick.
They do. Yep.
So they got
British?
Chaz.
He's British?
Chaz. Well,
No,
Chas.
Chaz.
He deserves the Chaz.
He's from the
Chaz.
Valley, bro.
From
He's
the
from
Valley.
the Valley.
My thoughts are, you know a little bit about being in the Valley from their time on the West Coast.
Yeah, I
There
don't
we
know
go.
if you guys know, but I used to live out west. Yeah.
You used to live out west. By the way, so we are 2 hours in.
They just shoot
he
forward
finally
in the
mentioned
Valley and
under
crappy
bets.
and stuff. Yeah. That's all they do
Under
in the
bets
Valley.
just hit an hour and a
Eddie
half.
Adams from Torrance, right in the Valley.
Oh
Do
shit!
you think
All
Chaz
right.
is his real
I-
name, or is that abbreviated?
Chuck. It's Chuck. He just extended it, actually. It was Chuck, but then he said, I want to be called
On
Chuck.
his baseball reference page, usually they say if they'll put the full name, it's Chaz.
It's
I think I'm-
Chaz K.
I think I'm-
McCormick.
I like your pronunciation.
Literally.
Chaz.
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 His parents either hate him or
Oh,
eat tea and
God.
trumpets every day.
He's from Westchester, Pennsylvania. So California. Went to Miller's, Pennsylvania. I have no idea where that school is.
Millersville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going down the rabbit hole. Millersville University has produced 4 major leaguers. Jim Weaver, 67 to 68. Jim Todd, who played 6 years, who had a .059 batting average in 6 seasons. Tim Meza, who pitched 4 seasons, 14 games, and then Chaz McCormick. So Chaz McCormick, greatest major leaguer ever to come out of Millersville University of Pennsylvania.
I'm going to continue to think
This
he's
is
from the
what
Valley
I
just
do,
so I can
by
say
the way,
Chaz.
for those.
He still comes from a really small private school, so he's still kind of
Chaz.
he still could have been called Charles, on campus. They were like, "Hey, 14 people on campus. What's my name? Charles."
Chaz.
He's
Hey,
East Coast fancy.
East Coast.
Oh,
fan.
and then when they go to Boston, it's like Charles.
All right, so we're about an hour and a half deep here. Let's get to everybody's fun thing on playoff preview shows and talk
Point two.
predictions.
Point.
We could start with the Sox Astros, but I am curious as to the general thoughts of how the rest of the playoffs are going to go. But we'll go around the horn here and start with White Sox Astros. Fids, go ahead, bud.
White Sox hat. I'm. If it's not the Giants and if it's not the White Sox, it doesn't matter to me.
No, but who do you think is going to win in the White Sox Astros series, bud?
Well, if I have the White Sox in the World Series, the math works out that the White Sox should win this series in 4 games to reach the ALCS and then They'd have to win that too, and then get to the World Series.
We're staying
then-
with the first round right now. We'll come back to that stuff. Although Sox Astros, who you got, bud?
Banking on a Dusty Baker implosion. Sox in 5.
Ooh, Sox and
I love the Dusty Baker implosion.
MSS, who you got?
I want to go with my man Fitz. Same thing, Sox in 4, mostly because I get my cousin in for a game because he doesn't get to come to the first one. So Farmer Matt can come in for game 4.
Tell him to bring some.
Get in
corn.
there, Farmer Matt. Matt or Matt?
Mr. Ham, what do you got,
Matt.
bud?
The T or a T?
I am catching a red eye out of Vegas Sunday night at 11:55 p.m. just so I could be at the clinching game 4 on Monday.
I forgot about that. You're still my number 1, Blue.
He will, and I can guarantee you, everybody that's listening, that he will be drunk on the flight. So we might get a TikTok of Pete throwing some sort of temper tantrum in the flight about.
He's going to throw it back. No, he's going to throw it back.
Yeah, I just want to see Pete on TikTok.
Because we're gonna walk out of that Paris game on Sunday, and we have 45 minutes to get to the nearest television, and because the White Sox start at what 5:15 on Sunday or 7:15.
Your
Excuse
time.
me, Vegas time. So we got like 40. We got to hoof it a little bit fast. We're gonna get fast. We're gonna get some spots.
Fitz,
But yeah.
get Mr. Hand doing TikTok dances in Vegas.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Holy shit!
If that
Just
happens,
don't hurt
I'll send you a
I'm
nice
iPhone
bottle
13.
of something, Fitz.
Holy shit!
All
right, well,
I
what do
need
you
drunk
got,
Wally too. I need drunk Wally.
Oh, no, you don't need drunk Walter. You do not need drunk Walter.
No, you don't. No one
Wally's
needs
gonna
drunk
dip
Wally.
out with some like
No one
Tinder,
needs- no one needs
Thrinder,
drunk
Grinder, swipe something, swipe. So me and Pete will be like hanging out. We'll go to.
He'll be using swipes, but it won't be on a fucking
We'll be
phone.
taking bets on whether or not he comes back in 20 minutes. It's actually a dude.
Why do you have an Adam's apple? That's delicious.
All right, Loaf, what do you got, bud?
Well, I mean, I bet $1,000 this morning on the White Sox series price at plus 110 at pointsbet.com. Father Zoe, feel free to put your promo code in here right now.
Pinwheels.
Pinwheels?
Pinwheels.
there we go.
Pinwheels.
I bet it, but not
So-
here.
So I'm going to go White Sox. I'll say 5 games. I think 4 has been the common denominator here. Well, let's go for a little drama. We'll go game 5. I want to see what the pitching mix looks like in game 5, so we'll go Sox in 5.
And Josh?
Drama.
This series ends in 4.
Series
Someone's season is ending Monday, October 11th, and I have the White Sox winning in 4. I think the Astros will win game 1, but the White Sox win game 2, game 3, and game 4.
Yep. Josh, I agree with you 100% with pitch matchups. I actually do think Lance Lynn loses game 1 and White Sox Twitter melts down, except for the cooler heads in this.
But that's guaranteed. I mean, that's granted.
Beef
We all
Loaf,
know.
I have to ask you, if the Sox go up, would you hedge?
It's a good question. I will not. No, I will not hedge.
Yeah,
Straight up for me, baby.
So Beef made me a nice chunk of change with his Oracle predictions of home run hitters about a couple weeks ago.
Last
Thanks for
night.
that. So when I saw you throw up the points bet for the series, of course I tailed it. I don't
Get in
have
there,
Goose
baby.
Island money, so I didn't go that big. But I still threw down a good chunk of change on the series. And you know what? Fuck it. Lance Lynn has been my fucking guy all year. He's my cousin. He's my everything. I love that man. White Sox in 3. Let's fucking ride. They're gonna come out and shock the fucking world. in game
Joe
1.
Sheehan.
We got
Prediction.
You
want
and-
shock the world. I'm going to definitely bet the under tomorrow, but shock the world on Thursday. And
Hey,
then
you
Lucas
and
cleaned up.
Bearstown going
Whoa.
for the sweep.
Let's
So,
go.
in a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 6th, or bottom of the 6th, a bunt just changed the game with nobody out.
Why? It's been 1-1.
I am glad you brought that up, Kevin, because in terms
Oh,
of
actually,
you guys,
it was a swing bunt. I'm a liar. Actually,
you guys pretty much
okay,
brought up
the ball.
everything and like how the Sox are going to win. But like what
Swing-
you guys
swing bunt.
mentioned, the defensive side, like don't give away free outs that can lead to free runs. Offensive side, don't bunt. Don't give away free outs. Just you trust your offense that they're going to come through.
Look.
It's
Can I-
just
can I be
part
bunt
of the
guy?
White Sox viewing experience. Someone is going to throw down a bunt in the 6th inning.
Can I?
It's going to be Lurie
I was
Garcia.
going to say it's going to be Larry
Yep.
Garcia.
No, it's going to be Billy. It might be Billy Hamilton too.
Why is Billy Hamilton batting in the
I was
sixth?
going to say, I doubt he touches the bat.
Who died? Who died?
There's a lot of people dying in these
Exactly
scenarios.
right. I would agree.
We've already
Can I
lost
lay down
Rondell.
Can I lay down the rules for actual necessary bunts for you guys? Can I do that?
Quickly.
Let's do that.
If it's a suicide run to win the game, only
If it's
time.
the seventh inning or beyond, and it's a tie ball game, if you're not up or down plenty, that's it.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh,
quick.
if it's a close game, you bunt. If it's not,
Wait a
what are you
minute. Time
playing
out.
for?
Time out. So this swinging bunt that you just said changed the game. Just put a runner on first with one out.
It wasn't an actual bunt.
Oh,
it was a
okay.
swing. I said swinging
Kevin's
bunt.
drunk.
No.
And they just took out Wainwright too.
Heard myself. I saw, like I said, I saw the ball. I saw how Arenado fielded it, and I said, "Oh, it must be a bunt." No, it was a swing. He got
I mean,
beat
talk
on.
about bunts though, and talking about this NL wildcard game. Like, at least you guys don't have to deal with the pitchers batting. So
That's untrue.
I'm not too worried about it. We have slugger Dylan
Dylan
Cease
Cease,
coming
yeah.
up to the fucking pitch. And Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn had a fucking huge hit in Milwaukee. We got sluggers, son. We got people.
Breaks.
We're coming in ready. But what about the National League? Now, we don't have to go series by series. Just thoughts on the National League, how you think it's going to play out. We'll go reverse order. Josh, start with you.
I have an upset. I have the Atlanta Braves beating the Milwaukee Brewers because I am concerned about the Brewers' offense. If Christian Yelich was able to catch a little bit more fire, then I wouldn't be too concerned. But, Willie Adames has started, he cooled off. He fell back to earth after his surge. And the question that I've got when watching the Brewers is who's going to be the guy with the big hit? And everything that I'm reading out of Milwaukee is Avisail Garcia and Omar Narvaez. Boy, I have lived through that experience.
Yeah, been
And
there.
if that is what you're hoping for, I've got the Atlanta Braves. I know how great Milwaukee's pitching is. But when the Braves offense gets going, I think they could find a way to hit an early home run in one of those games and puts a ton of pressure on the Brewers and that offense. And I'm worried about the Brewers offense. So that's one of my upsets. I've got the Braves beating the Brewers.
I like it.
To go
I like
to the NLCS. And with the San Francisco Giants, there's magic with this team. And I don't think we should just easily discount the type of World Series experience that they've got. All over the diamond. Crawford, Buster Posey, even Chris Bryant, right?
Some dude named KB.
The Giants' magic, I think, is going to carry them to the World Series. And they're my pick to win the National League pennant this year.
Fair enough. B-Flow from National League. What do you like?
It's
Tread
funny.
lightly. Tread lightly.
Not to copy off my man Josh here, but I was listening to the Sox Machine podcast when he was giving his prediction. I hadn't thought about the Brewers or Braves at all, but all I had thought as well, the Brewers won their division running away. The Braves sputtered to the end, had all these injuries. They traded for like 9 outfielders at the deadline. They don't look like anything. And then, Josh, you laid out that whole scenario, and I thought, I could totally see the Brewers collecting like 18 hits total in the entire series because they don't hit at all. They have such a bad hitting team. So
Think about the series in Milwaukee. Who was hitting for the Brewers against the White Sox? Vogelback and Rowdy Tellez. Those were the guys that cost the White Sox that series. I mean, if that's who you're counting on.
Hey, so
That's a lot of trouble, right? I mean, that's so. I'll go with Josh there on Braves, and then in the Giants versus whatever the fuck else comes out of this wild card game. I just want the Giants to win. I don't know if they make sense to win, but I really fucking love how they're doing it. I love how they're doing it with. I like that they didn't rebuild. First off, I like that they said we're not doing a rebuild. Then they patched it together with all these veterans and said we're gonna work with you veterans. We're gonna squeeze everything we can out of you. Then they added more coaches and said, you know what, we're gonna dice this up a little bit differently than the other teams are doing. And I listened to Kevin Goldstein's podcast that he does chin music through Fangraphs. And he said there are teams trying to reverse engineer what the Giants are doing because of how much they're getting out of these veterans. So give me the Giants in that second series for sure.
It's that special pitching machine, which I'm really interested in how they designed it because the pitching machine can take the VR technology of how a pitcher and the StatCast data throws their pitches, and they can simulate that with this fancy pitching machine that they have all of their hitters.
Really?
KB has one in his garage. KB has one in his. It's the most incredible pitching machine I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it just sounds awesome.
And you can program like the actual pitch. Like, so you take a pitcher that like has a tendency to throw like 2 off speed, and fastball. You can program tendencies into this machine. So guys that are hitting in their cage at home, they're looking at like, okay, I'm facing a lefty, and it comes from like it shoots it out left side, and then you get guys that are like, okay, now what would this lefty like? This lefty throws 78, and it all of a sudden drops down like 7, like off speed. Like I can't remember the company that makes it. It is the most incredible pitching machine I've ever seen. It simulates again the dudes that are actually working in the cage still can't predict because it's based on. Again, what you program in, you get a little flash drive, pop it in, says like fast. Again, you if you're hitting, you don't look at the obviously what they're going to throw. So it's about growth. But these machines are incredible.
Mr. Ham, what do you like in the National League?
Well, if you would have asked me this question before the Brewers division championship celebration, I would have said the Brewers. But I think, to Josh's point about the Brewers offense, they relied heavily on that bullpen with Devin Williams. And now that Devin Williams is gone, because he did a Carlos Quentin and broke his hand celebrating in the fucking clubhouse. Go figure.
What a rookie.
Dumbass.
I have to go with the Braves in this respect because to me the Brewers bullpen is now short. And I think that's where the Braves are gonna, at an advantageous point, take advantage of that.
Pete, I got a question. Do you think that the Brewers have more talent?
Do I think the Brewers have more talent than the Braves?
Yeah.
Pitching wise, yes. Like offense, position players, no, I don't. But again, the Braves aren't exactly a full strength either because Acuna's not there. Acuna's gone for the year, but Soler's filled in quite nicely for him. And I just think Jorge Soler, the former Cub.
Aldo, do you know that guy?
Playoff legend.
Oh,
Cardinals killer. Jorge Soler is what Cubs what I wish, or basically what all Cubs fans wish that Luis Robert actually is.
Yep. Which was supposed to be
Jorge Soler,
Eloy.
he hit shit out of the ball, but just can't really do much else.
Eloy is supposed to be the evolution of.
Right. Go ahead, Mr. Han.
I think the Giants, whoever wins tonight, I think the Giants will handle them because if it's the Cardinals, I think the Giants steamroll them, to be honest with you. If it's the Dodgers, I think the Dodgers do give them a contest, but having played in this game, I think hurts them a little bit because they've had, Scherzer's already out. They're into their bullpen already. So you got some tired arms going into that series with San Francisco. So I have to go with the Giants over the Braves for the NL pennant.
There you go. My Sox Summer, big National League guy you are. Who do you got in the National League?
It's time on the West Coast. He appreciated the Padres.
You're on
Huge.
mute.
He was an Angels dude.
Huge.
Giants.
I'm a huge NL guy. Now, if the fucking Cardinals cannot win tonight, all right, I'm gonna take the Giants to win out. And I'm also, but because all you guys are so fucking against the Brewers, I'm sacking up and going to take the goddamn Brewers.
Yes.
Now,
Do it.
I'm tired of all this naysaying bullshit. You're like, so-and-so hurt his hand. Oh, who gives a fuck? Who's going to get a hit? What does that matter? Like, they were fucking good. They played against the Sox and destroyed our asses when we were up there. So I'm going to take the Brewers to go in. And if the Cardinals win tonight, Brewers Cards are definitely going to go to the World Series.
Oh,
because
shit.
TJ McFarland needs to pitch in a World Series on the south side of goddamn Chicago. And it's going to happen. And it's going to be fun times. So, but if that doesn't happen, we're going to take the Brewers, go against the San Francisco guys. Probably San Fran's going to win because everybody seems to love them. So let's go with those dudes.
You actually brought it back. By the way, what beer are you on? Are you on the tropical beer deck?
I'm
not a
not.
seltzer yet.
No. This is
You gotta tell Zoe when you switch to the other beer, like the beer that he was like.
No. This is the Gator Rider, which is the Pina Colada Milkshake IPA. It's a
you're still on
very
milkshake?
delicious hazy IPA.
So that rant came from a lazy IPA.
A hazy IPA?
Well, no, I'm saying lazy IPA, but
Well, maybe.
Mr.
But I'm just
Aldo,
saying, yeah. Let's go. With
We're
it.
moving it. We're
No,
moving
go on,
now.
go on, go on.
Mr. Aldo.
I was thinking before like Braves over Brewers, but as annoying the Brewers, their pitching, the offense is just trash when you have to rely on those guys that you guys mentioned. Their pitching is just so damn good, and they're just annoying. But I'm not gonna pick the Brewers. I hate the Brewers. I don't even care if they would even if they're the clear cut or whatever it is. I'm never gonna pick the Brewers. What does that mean? Kevin, stop.
potty.
Oh, you guys pick the Giants. I don't know. You know what? I don't even know if they're going to make it out of this recording. I'm going to go with the Dodgers. my pick could be right out like in a couple hours. So
Strong.
I respect that.
Strong.
but, I mean, they just have. I mean, their talent is just so damn good. Like, how could you not pick the Dodgers? I mean, obviously, not the favorite. The best team doesn't always win. But man, that lineup, they're pitching. They're really damn good.
For sure. And Fids, what about
Watch them lose in an hour.
Come on, do we need to ask Fids? We know the answer.
I know, but go ahead, Fids.
Does this answer?
No sound effects. Just say who you want to win.
Well, I said White Sox, Giants World Series. So
Okay.
is this some MCU like big reveal? I mean, God.
No, it's just we were kind of going with the flow here. But I think I actually think I'm going to make a lot of coin betting Brewers unders because I think that pitching staff, the starters go deep. I think Atlanta had 88 wins. I think they can get got. I like the Brewers. And then we'll go with the Giants. And then, yes, I do think the Giants will make it to the World Series. I do. Yes. And then just to kind of put a bow on it, we already know that it's the Tampa Bay Boston series. I actually think Boston's going to upset Tampa Bay.
Ooh, your cousin from Boston.
Damn.
I do think Boston. I don't know. Something about this Red Sox team, and I also think Tampa Bay had a great ride last year, but I don't know if they're going to catch lightning in a bottle 2 years in a row.
I'm feeling that, Zoe. I am really feeling that. I felt the same way driving home tonight in the car.
There you go. Now I feel better about it.
I feel like feeling beef because that's going to be a 5-game and Tampa done.
All right. Fizz got Tampa. Beef, who you got?
Yeah, it's Tampa. I mean, Tampa's the most complete team, in my opinion, in these playoffs. And they'll come at you like a spider monkey, Chip. And they're going to put whatever 13 pitchers out there and make you the most miserable on that roster. And it doesn't matter. They have no stars on the pitching staff side. And the hitters are interchangeable. They're going to, if you got a lefty, they're going to go with the righties. And if you switch over to righty, they're going to go with the lefties. They're a huge pain in the ass. And I think they're going to whoop Boston's ass in that series.
Mr. Han? Whoop, got you, Josh.
I got to go with Tampa, and the deciding game will be won by Tampa when they whip the shit out of Chris Sale.
Ooh, that's vindictive too. That's vindictive.
Fuck him.
All right, go, Josh.
Ray sweep. I made the joke on Twitter. Yankees, Rays. Watch who gets swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. Now on ESPN. And that's how I feel. The Rays are going to sweep the Red Sox.
Fair enough. Although your last one.
Rays. Just I need to see the Twitter.
What about MSS?
He said Red Sox.
He said Red Sox earlier.
He's dying on that hill.
Yeah, I'm taking Red Sox. Yep.
He's dead on that hill.
All right, well, I actually got this done in under 2 hours. Well, thank you guys, all of you, for coming on the show.
You didn't have your World Series picks.
Wait, hold on. Does this end in NLCS?
Zoe doesn't want to pick not the White Sox.
Oh, he wants to wait till next.
Oh,
I was going to get out of the first round first.
That's
But if
clever.
you guys want to talk about your World
We
Series
should do
picks,
some preseason picks.
Yeah.
I guess.
Who's going to win the fourth game of the preseason?
Yeah.
I want to know what you feel about Game 6 of the NLDS. Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Have
our
a good
cue.
sleep, all right?
Yeah.
So that's our cue right there. All right, everybody, real quick. Josh, I know you're a very busy man with the playoffs coming up. Where can everybody see you this week and going forward?
Yeah, the easiest way is to follow me on Twitter. I'm at socksmachine_Josh. You can read our work and listen to our work at socksmachine.com. 2 p.m. Central Time, we'll have another Twitter Space pregame show for Game 1. So if you are on Twitter and you enjoy the Twitter Spaces, Father Zoe joins me often. There'll be other blogs as well. Some guys from the 108 are going to be joining us. Jordan Lazowski from Sox on 35th should be joining as well. We're going to be doing a big pregame on Twitter Space from 2 to 3 p.m., taking everybody up to first pitch of Game 1 of the ALDS.
Awesome. Looking forward to doing those. Definitely want to check those out. Mr. Han, what can people expect coming up on the Tainted Glove?
Well, this week it'll be Sox playoffs, and of course my trip to Vegas to go see the Bears Raiders excitement. Also, there might be some blind worship by my co-host K-Fids regarding Chris Bryant as well.
Absolutely. And if you're not following it already, that's at Tainted Glove. Make sure you check out that's Fids and Mr. Han. They do a great show. You definitely want to check that out on Twitter at Tainted Glove. Beef, My Sox Summer, whichever one of you guys. I know you guys got a ton of shit. He's pointing at you, Beef.
Both.
Yeah, I'll take it. So tomorrow morning, first thing when you get up, you're going to go to From the 108, or actually you're going to go to youtube.com/From the 108. And at 6 a.m., me, My Sox Summer, and Treasy are going to be doing the earliest pregame show that there is out there, okay? We don't want to compete with the other ones, so we want to do an early pregame show. Also, today, we were up on the north side. We taped Red Line Radio with White Sox Dave, so that's going to be dropping kind of mid-morning. Usually that drops around mid-morning. And then 2 o'clock, we're planning to jump in with Josh Nelson on the Spaces. And then after that, for the game, actually, at 3 o'clock, I think we're going to be at Buffalo Wings and Rings Chicago, 3434 South Halstead, just watching the game. So if you have no place to watch the game, you want to come hang out and have a couple beers with us, a couple Goose Islands, eat some wings, make sure you come on through.
There you go. A lot of good stuff.
And just let's add in on that. So just because Lo forgot the most important part, we are our beer. We have a beer from Goose Island that's dropping on Friday. It's called the Little Friday Lager, and it will be available at the tap room on Fulton. And the proceeds from that beer will go to My Block, My Hood, My City. So you want to get your ass up there, get some of our beer, and you can get some of those White Sox retro cans while you're up there.
I'm pretty sure we just dropped exclusive news. So
That's
breaking
awesome.
news.
That's pretty
That's
big.
Right
awesome.
there.
That's
That's great work,
Congrats.
guys.
Yeah,
Nice.
fantastic.
Thank you.
I'll definitely make my way.
Aldo, post-production, delete that.
I will break my usual. I don't go farther north than Jackson to go there and probably check that beer out.
I'll DM you. I'll DM you some other details. So just
Yes, please do.
But please try to go up there.
I will. But no, that's awesome. Great charity. That's fantastic. Love that stuff. Love seeing that stuff. And then as far as me, Aldo, and Fids, as always, follow us at Pinwheels Ivy Pod. You'll see all of our individual handles in there. Make sure we have the link at the top of the Twitter account if you want to support the show, and there'll be plenty of merch to go around. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do got a contest coming up in the pipeline for subscribers to the YouTube channel. We just got to put the finishing touches on it, but you're going to want to get in there early. So, again, thank these guys. I can't thank these guys enough for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. We all talk pretty much daily anyways, but it's always nice to put together a show. White Sox fans, we're all extremely lucky to have the amount of podcast blogs and just content in our fandom. And a dude with a parrot. Oh, we got all kinds of accessories going on right now.
Whoa.
But no, thank you guys so much. I
do it.
appreciate it. And we're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. Playoff baseball.
Good luck, White Sox fans.
Peace. Go Sox.